Hi guys, how we all doing on this Wednesday evening? Hope everyone's well. Welcome to Chatman FPL Game Week 3 live with one half of perhaps your favourite podcast or your least favourite podcast. First of all, as per usual, sorry guys for the I'd set it up and it was the camera was through the computer, so I'd set it up again. Thanks for the guys in the chat. Keep it coming. Share the link. Let's get as many people in as possible. Let's have some fun. Toast time. Andy Martin, FPL Tactician. Dave, Simple Goal. James, Alapron. Cheers, guys. Thanks for everything. Keep doing what you're doing. Right, let's have some fun. So, team news. Let's go through it. In fact, before we do team news, I'll clarify where I'm at from the team news. I'm now 5-2-3. I do have a starting 11. I started with Keith Gillespie, who I didn't think was going to play, but I shoved him in anyway on the off chance because I thought I'm going to be gutted if he's sitting on my bench and he plays in that fixture, to be honest. And I started with Kevin Nolan as well. He's also a sub, so it's not too bad for myself. I've now got a back five, as I said, which I've got Dabizas coming in away to Chelsea, and I'd left Melberg out away to Charlton, but thinking that he would play. So I am Hislop in goal for West Ham. I also have, as well as Ian Hart, Laurent Blanc, Dabizas, Melberg. I sold William Gallas today for Richard Rufus of Charlton Athletic. I've left myself 1.5 million in the bank because I couldn't really decide with the odds and sods that I wanted to do. And I really didn't want to be forced into a position where I was selling Steve Malbronk to get me a full 11. So I'm quite happy with how it's turned out. My midfield two aren't too bad. It's Juan Sebastian Veron and Harry Kewell. Up front, I am Jason Newell, Freddie Canute, and captain Ruud van Nistelrooy. That's my 11. So 5 at the back. And a little worried about it. One of the reasons I moved for Rufus, just to clarify that, was I know a lot are going to have some sort of Charlton defensive coverage with like mainly Dean Kiley, few Konchesky if he comes back in, although I think Chris Powell's kept his place in the side. I wanted something there. I've obviously started with Jason Newell, so I've now got the 2. Also, the fixtures in game week 4 for teams defensively are shit anyway. So if you take me, I've sold Gallas, who would have been away to Arsenal, and I've also got Hart and Blanc up against each other. So I think clean sheets could be quite scarce for a lot of people in game week 4. So to bring in that Charlton coverage with the double game week of those 2 home fixtures felt like the right thing to do. As Anurag says there, yeah, Nolan not in the squad. So that is my confirmed 11. Same with Keith Gillespie, so I don't have to worry about them coming on for 1 point or anything. It's better that way. I don't know if there's a theme here, just looking briefly through the guys that are getting left out who perhaps we wouldn't have expected. And in most cases, they're not even on the bench, which leads me to think a lot of this is just fitness related as well. Obviously, we can't expect the guys who do their Sunday night stream to go through the fitness of every single player. It's just way too much. Even for them to just give that information to hand on to someone who would then have it, it's just too much. But it feels like when there's rotation, quite often these guys aren't just getting left out and put on the bench. They're just left out altogether. So I don't know if there's anything in that. Perhaps that's something we can chat through a little bit later on as the night goes on. Must say as well, guys, thanks for continuing to support this. It's much appreciated, because if you ain't enjoying it, it's not happening. So I did some notes. We will start with, in fact, before I do that, let me get the old notifications on for the main account, because you lot will be going mad if I'm not screaming Riverside motherfuckers. Right, there you go. For those who asked for it, there you go. I've said it once. You never know. When there's a goal at Upton Park later, we might force it through again. Let's get up team news as we stand for tonight for the 9 fixtures. Obviously, Liverpool and Fulham both blank. Just on the subject of blanks and doubles as well. The next couple of days could be really interesting. So well worth obviously looking at. Ben Crellin was on it last night, looking into permutations and stuff. Now, over the next couple of days, technically in the game, it's international week. So although we'd obviously go game week 4 on Saturday, there's about a 10-day break following these set of fixtures. So the World Cup qualifiers, which would have featured real time, England winning 5-1 in Germany, is potentially going to have quite a knock-on effect, apparently, on game week 22, miles off, where a load of those fixtures could get brought back to around about game week 12. I think Ben's on it better than I am, and I don't know the detail because I haven't got the game, and they've been simming it and stuff like that to see what works out. But essentially, it could work out that game week 12 could end up being a massive double, where fixtures from game week 22 get brought forward to that date. So I think what Ben was saying was that the fixtures are actually scheduled as game week 22 now had already been moved from game week 12. So the guys who've done the game decided to make that as a new game week. So game week 22 could end up being like a real blank kind of free hitter week where you've got 4 or 5 fixtures. And a lot of that's going to be dependent on these international results, which we'll talk about more, I think, on Saturday, game week 4, once we've got the detail. But we won't factually know 100% on most of these, probably till quite later on. I think up to about game week 8 or 9. But it's something just to be conscious of in the back of your mind at the moment. So we'll start with the featured game for the evening. Lost my fucking beer already. Which is Chelsea against Newcastle. That's the fixture the guys are going to have their main commentary for. I think that's the right choice in terms of the best game from these set of fixtures as well. Got no qualms with that at all. In fact, before I do, just seen Liverpool team come up for their Super Cup final with Bayern Munich. I'll just run through that 11 quickly. It's Dudek, Babel, John Arisa at left back, Henshaw back in with Hyypiä. It's Nick Barmby on the left, Vladimir Smicer on the right, Jamie Redknapp, Steven Gerrard in the middle, Robbie Fowler and Jari Litmanen up front. Emil Heskey amongst the substitutes. So it's Danny Murphy, Vegard Hegem, Vignal Haman, Gary McAllister and Chris Kirkland. So that's going on now as well. Their Super Cup final with Bayern Munich. That has no bearing on what happens in terms of anything future, but it's just a little bit of information there on Liverpool. If we get any goal news on that, we'll keep you updated as we go. So let's start off with this Chelsea side, because it's probably the headline news as far as I'm concerned. No Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank in the Chelsea lineup, and he is Suji's captain. So I messaged Suj about 4:30, and I said, mate, have you done something with this team? He's like, no, how long I got? I was like, mate, just fucking do something with it. So he sent me 3 transfers for -4, and I thought, yeah, do you know what? That's not too bad. So he was getting rid of Judas from Arsenal for David Unsworth, Rob Lee for Jason Wilcox, who's now at Charlton, and he sold Louis Saha for Freddie Canute. Well, I thought -4 wise, that's not too bad. I think from the fixtures he's come out all right, but he's captained Hasselbank. Hasselbank is amongst the Chelsea substitutes as well, so you do feel like he'll probably come on. But yeah, this is what Suj is for, right? So 4 changes for Chelsea. Back in come William Gallas, Jesper Gronkia, Mario Stanic, importantly, and a lot of people waiting on that Stanic news. Jody Morris also starts for Chelsea in midfield. I'll go through how they're lining up in a moment, because that's really interesting. The players that come out of that 11 for Chelsea are Ferrer, John Terry, Babiaro, and Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank. Emmanuel Petit goes to centre half with Desailly and Gallas, meaning Jody Morris plays central midfield with Frank Lampard, Melchiot right wing back, Gronkia left wing back, Stanic in the 10 position behind Zola and Gudjohnsen. There's an update from the account from Liverpool Bayern. Interesting news coming from Monaco, where Gary McAllister makes a surprise appearance in the squad. We understand this will be the last time he features in a Liverpool match and is a farewell. Talk is that he's on the verge of a move to Charlton, possibly just in time for that double game week. Obviously, the reference to Monaco there being that's where the Super Cup final is taking place. So we believe Gary McAllister is leaving Liverpool following this game tonight to go to Charlton. That's awkward timing, I would suggest, for anybody who's gone into the Charlton midfield mix. I was going to go John Robinson, but then bottled it once I see Wilcox got bought, and he's in that side. And there's quite a few, obviously, in the community who've got Kinsella. He's not in the Charlton side. Anyway, back to the Chelsea-Newcastle match. We'll just go through that Newcastle side for you. So 4 changes for them as well from a reference back to the league fixture rather than their Intertoto Cup fixture. So Elliott, Acuna, Norberto Solano, Alan Shearer start for Newcastle. No Olivia Bernard, Gary Speed, Gavilan or Amiobi. They are 4-4-2 given. Robbie Elliott at left back, Davizas Marcelino at centre half, Warren Barton at right back, Norberto Solano on the right, Lauren Rebel on the left, Mercedes and Acuna in the middle, Alan Shearer up front with Bellamy, Sholo Amiobi, Rob Lee, Gary Speed and Gavilan all amongst the substitutes there for Newcastle. Moving on to Highbury, and we did get a little bit of a leak from the scout on the Arsenal team yesterday, which we knew was going to feature Martin Keown and Nwankwo Kanu. Campbell is obviously not fit, so has not made it back in. So Keown plays the centre half with Tony Adams, Bashley Cole and Laurent as the fullbacks. Ray Parlour comes into midfield instead of Junichi Inamoto. Means him playing alongside Dennis Bergkamp. Bergkamp obviously given licence to support the front two. Freddie Ljungberg makes a first league start of the season, comes into play on the left, interestingly, in place of Giovanni Van Bronckhorst, and Robert Perez stays on the right. Kanu comes in for Jeffers, Thierry Henry, obviously up front. I'm sure there's many out there who do have Henry who have captained him, unless perhaps they have Van Nistelrooy as well. That's what I would have thought. Also, 4 changes for Everton and one of the more interesting formation lineups this evening, which I can only describe to you as a flat back 5, a flat 3 in midfield, but with no one playing wide on the left, and a number 10 behind the front man. Interestingly, Gary Naismith from left back kind of given the full license of that left-hand side of the pitch to bomb on forward with the 3 midfield players, which includes Nicholas Alexanderson, who comes into the side off the right, offering defensive cover, along with Thomas Grammerson and Mark Pembridge, who's also back in that Everton side. Joe Max Moore is back in for the injured Duncan Ferguson. And Abel Xavier is in for Steve Watson, scorer at Newcastle in game week 1, misses out. So to clarify their lineup, Gerrard in goal, back 5, left to right, Naismith, Unsworth, Weir, Stubbs, Xavier, central midfield, Pembridge, Gravison, right, Alexanderson, and in the 10 role, Moore supporting Kevin Campbell playing against his former club at Highbury. There are 3 changes for Blackburn Rovers. Marn Janssen and Marcus Bent, as they pick a far more offensive side than the one that they picked at Manchester United. Missing out is Flitcroft, Craig Hignett and Damien Duff. So they line up with Friedel in goal, a back 3 of Curtis Berg, 4.0 short, retains his place. Lucas Neal, left wing back, Jason McAteer, right wing back. Alan Mann, central midfield with 2 guy. I saw FPL Graphics. I don't know if you're in the chat. So FPL Graphics was going to captain 2 guy today. That's bold. Matt Janssen behind the front 2 of Bent and Grabby. So system-wise, much more like the game week 1 side that beat Fulham at Ewood Park rather than the very defensive lineup that they had at Old Trafford. For Bolton Wanderers, 4 changes for them as well. And this is a bit all over the shop. So into the side comes Goodney Bergson at centre half, Simon Charlton at left wing back, Per Franson into centre midfield, and Rodney Wallace on his last legs, I suggest, at this sort of time of his career, playing in the number 10 role behind the front 2. So Jaskalainen in goal, Warhurst, Bergson, Hendry, Charlton and Madison as the wing backs, Southall and Franson in for Kevin Nolan, Rod Wallace behind the front 2 of Ricketts and Henrik Pedersen moved forward into a more advanced position for Bolton Wanderers. For Charlton, just the one change, and it's the one I referenced a little bit earlier. It is bad news for Mark Kinsella owners, although he's not even on the bench, Kinsella. Jason Wilcox comes in. That's the only change from the Charlton 11. They are 4-4-2. So Bartlett, Yule up front, Rufus at centre-half, Chris Powell and Luke Young, in spite of having poor performances at Ipswich, retain their positions at fullback. Danny Shitu plays alongside, easy for you to say, alongside Richard Rufus, Dean Kiley in goal, Parker. He's talking out his arse. Kinsella is in that team. So who's missed out for Charlton? Sorry, guys, for giving you a slight little heart attack there. Yes, it's Kinsella and Parker. Robinson on the right. Who's missed out for Charlton? Someone put in the Stella does play for Charlton. Shoot me. Stelling's about to do his job, and it stay. Bartlett and Yule up front. I can't think. In the central midfield three. Out of the side go wing backs Alan Ratt, Steve Stone, and central midfielder Ian Taylor. Thank you for your auto recluse for putting in the chat. It's Graham Stewart who misses out for Charlton. He's on the bench for them. Villa go with a flat five of Staunton left, but with license to push on. 4.0 Lord Staunton, so they're saying. Delaney on the right, Melberg, Barry, and Alpine are free essentially. George Boateng asked to drop in and fill in defensively with Ginola and Merson given license to support Angel and Balaban up front. Plays up front with Malcolm Christie. Ravanelli's in for Strupar. And the only other change was Adam Murray coming in for Daniele Diano. And interestingly, it means Darryl Powell playing left wing back. Seth Johnson playing right wing back as a left footer. Not sure I've got my head around this. Back three, Elliott, Carbonari and Rigger in front of Mark Poom, currently the highest scoring player in the game in goal for Derby. Murray, Burley and Valakari in midfield, Ravanelli and Christie up front. They're being asked to do these sort of go out wide forward positions. I guess we would call them 2001 split forward, shall we say. Manchester United, big news being no place in the back line for Gary Neville. Ronnie Johnson plays at centre-half with Laurent Blanc, Silvestre at left-back, Phil Neville at right-back. Roy Keane is back in the side. It means David Beckham goes back out to the right, which means no place for Game Week 2 hero Luke Chadwick. Ryan Giggs on the left, Varane plays, Van Nistelrooy and Dwight York up front. Just 2 changes for Manchester United. At Ellen Road, come on, you Spurs. I'm really not hopeful for Spurs here. I've got to be really honest with you. I'm really not hopeful at all. So for Leeds, 3 changes. Out go Woodgate, Mabry at right back, and Eric Backer's lost his place following the early red card at Bolton in Game Week 2. In comes Dominic Matteo at centre-half, Gary Kelly at right back, Stephen McPhail plays central midfield for Leeds. So they are Martin, Hart, Matteo, Ferdinand, Kelly, Kuehl, McPhail, Decourt, Bowyer, Robbie Keane behind Mark Viduka. Again, just a 1 change for Spurs. Tim Sherwood was popular for a few people at 4.5 million. He starts in place of Oyvind Leonardson. And it also means a slightly more advanced position. I don't know if anybody's held on, but a more advanced position for Gus Poyet playing alongside Teddy Sheringham in support of Sergei Rebrov. Back 5 remains the same, so it's Ziege and Anderton at wing backs, Dean Richards, Bunjevchevich, Chris Perry at the central defensive 3, Casey Keller in goal, Sherwood partners, Simon Davis in midfield, Sheringham, Poyet and Sergei Rebrov. Moving on to Filbert Street. Leicester City go 4-4-2. It means Arne Gunnlaugsson is back in the side up front with Dean Sturridge. James Scowcroft goes back to the right. Joby McAnuff picked up an injury in that Game Week 2 fixture, so he misses out. So too does Davidson and also Gary Rowett through injury. Coming into the side for Leicester is Robbie Savage at right back, Andy Impey wide left midfield, and Gunnlaugsson, as I said, up front. They are Flowers, Delaney, Scott Sinclair back into centre half. Scott Sinclair, listen to me. Frank Sinclair, sorry. With Matt Elliott, Robbie Savage, right back. Impey, Izzet, Wise, Scowcroft in midfield, Gunnlaugsson, Sturridge up front. Ipswich stay with the back 3. There are 4 changes in all for them, including a very interesting OOP. In comes to the side, Titus Bramble, Amir Karic, Jim Magilton and Fanidi George plays up front with Marcus Stewart. There's no place in the side for Thomas Gardso, Jamie Clapham, Tommy Miller, who scored in that Game Week 2 fixture with Charlton, and Pablo. So they line up back 3, Haridason, McGrill, Bramble back in the side, Karic, left wing back, Maurizio Tirico, right wing back, midfield 3 of Wright, Matt Holland, Jim Magilton, Marcus Stewart and Fanidi George up front. Similar to Derby, split forwards. Let's just call them split forwards. 2 games to run through team news, and we got about 2 minutes to kick off as well. We go to the Stadium of Light for Sunderland Southampton. 2 changes for Sunderland. In come Medina and Oster. McCann and Williams left out. Arca stays at left midfield. Mickey Gray at left back. Full lineup is Sorensen, Gray, Craddock, Varga, Bernd Haas 4.0 holds his place. Arca, Schwartz, Medina, central midfield. John Oster on the right. Up front, Phillips and the Slanders. The headline news for Southampton, who make 4 changes, is that James Beattie is not in their starting lineup. Wayne Bridge, Tahar, Dan Petrescu coming to the side. Dan Petrescu playing wide on the right of midfield, interestingly, following his game week 1 goal at Anfield. And Kevin Davis replaces James Beattie. Benali, Dodd and Tessem also miss out for Southampton. So they are Jones, Bridge, Lundik, Vam, Tahar, Rory Delap at right back, Howard, Oakley, Draper, Petrescu is the left to right of the 4 in midfield, and Kevin Davis partnered up front by Marion Pahars. James Beattie is amongst the substitutes for Southampton. And that just leaves us to the last one, not the Riverside motherfuckers. West Ham are unchanged. Same starting 11 that won at Everton. Yeah, I know, mad, isn't it? We are underway for game week 3. Games kicks off, guys. As we said, Chelsea, Newcastle is the fixture we're probably going to get the most news on. So just to clarify that, West Ham 11 unchanged from the win at Everton. It's Hislop, Winterburn, Repka, Daly, Schemmel, Courtois, Cole, Joe Cole obviously, Don Hutchison, Trevor Sinclair, Paolo Di Canio starts again, Freddie Canute, and finally 3 changes for Middlesbrough. Into the side come Gianluca Festa, Paul Ince and Hamilton Rickard is back in the side. Out go Curtis Fleming, Marinelli and Nemeth. Middlesbrough lineup 4-4-2. Festa back at left back as he was at Chelsea in game week 1. Egiog and Southgate sent half in front of Mark Crossley, who's still keeping Mark Schwarzer out of the Middlesbrough goal. This is really going to be pricking people's interest now. Jonathan Green, the central midfield with Paul Ince, just to give him a bit more defensive protection. He's being asked to drop in front of the back 4. Being really popular for quite a few people this week following his goal in game week 2. Plays on the right of midfield. Hamilton Rickard plays up front with Noel Whelan. Those are your 18 lineups. Let's get rid of that. Right. Welcome to game week 3, guys. Let's get in the chat while we're waiting for goals. This is open stuff. If you've got chat, man, FPL questions going, I suggest get them in. I suggest there's 9 games tonight. There's going to be a lot more goals than there were on Saturday, I suspect. So I'll try and get in on some of the stuff happening in the chat. So if you've got any specific questions, get them in. Great. I can't promise that I'll get you covered, but I'll try and give people a shout out where I can. Stream James Turner, I'll be listening on about an hour's delay. Dave. Well, Dave knows the scores, don't he? So he can watch it whenever he wants. And Dave's also wishing everyone good luck with your teams, of course, tonight. Clean sheet wipeout, cracking, open a beer. Let's get this going. Lucas, some comments on Crossley. Schwarzer will get sold and they will buy a new number 1 goalkeeper in 90% games that Crossley outs Schwarzer. So he's suggesting Crossley's ousted. Mark Schwarzer. Luke is very knowledgeable on the game, probably as much as anybody, actually. And he's saying that there's every chance that Middlesbrough will buy a goalkeeper. So Andy Martin's in the chat. He's saying hello to his mate Dave. It's interesting. You guys could do this in your own time. Don't forget to do the tweets, Andy, or whoever's doing them tonight. Martin FPL 343 saying thanks for the stream. Not a problem, guys. Listen, but there's this number of people in the chat, this many people enjoying it, this many people interacting, etc., etc. I will keep doing them as and when I can. I can't promise. 2.5 hours is a long time of anybody's life, particularly when you have to look after a little one. But my intention will be that I'll be back on Saturday and I'll be back next Wednesday. Listen, we're in the middle of a crisis. Shit can change, but my intention is to keep going. Gembarica thinks he doesn't have beer ready, should leave, I think. What? It seemed like a few people trying to hide from their missus tonight. How do I explain to the woman that I've been obsessed with fantasy football for the last 10 years and now I'm obsessed with a fantasy football game within a computer game? Heavy Finger Sevens asked, what about joining from game week 4? Any details on the process? Strongly, guys. Go and look at the Fantasy Chapman Twitter account. Shut the stream if you want to play, and go and look through their feed. They will have links to how you can sign up. Essentially, they're allowing people to sign up on top of the people who asked for sheets and then did that poxy thing that I said on the first stream of just not even bothering to fill a team in. If you are quick enough, you can get yourself a team. I think the intention is that the guys are going to put whoever's new in at the bottom of the league, 1 point behind whoever the lowest scorer is, lowest scoring team following this game week, and there will be no access to a first wild card. Forgive me if I'm wrong. My name's James. I'm from Planet FPL. I'm not a representative of Champ Man and the guys there. So if I'm wrong, let me know in the chat, guys. But I believe that is the intention. Rushka's in. Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank benched. Yeah. Andrew Martin says what I said, and that was the first thing I thought from the team, is that Hasselbank being benched was the biggest shock. Pezza took the plunge and sold Veron for Beckham. Guys, actually, while we're doing that and while we're waiting for goals to come in, everybody hold the chat for a second. If you are not captaining a Manchester United player, can you please pop in the chat who you are captaining? I guess a lot who perhaps haven't got Veron will be on Henry. I'm going to bet there's a few that have gone Hasselbank. I think the Leeds guys are great shouts, by the way, tonight. I think if you've gone Viduka, I think that's not a bad shout. I think there's a few people would be thinking, oh, Jesus, those first 2 game weeks. But, yeah, at home to this Spurs, I would fancy Viduka to return tonight. Shamil, my boy from 2 Guys, 1 Cups in the chat. He says, I hope you're good. Rob Reed is on Omri. So is Speedy Reedy. FPL Irons has gone Viduka again. Coach is on Zola. Shay Hogan's on Henry. FPL Graphics is in the chat. I said he is captain 2 Guy. I saw that he's Dean Gordon for Middlesbrough. Assist Jonathan Greening. Best hand blowout. That includes me. And Dean Gordon is the goal scorer. Jonathan Greening with the assist. The team from the Riverside motherfuckers leads 1-0 at Upton Park. Just see there, Jamie, our friend from Stoke FPL Potter, he's captain Grabby. So there's a few differentials knocking about. Just want to see if there was any other. But yeah, I think the majority are probably still going to be on Van Nistelrooy. Anyway, FPL Boost has gone on re-captain Van Nistelrooy, vice captain. I think that's pretty brave. Some information on that. Get Dean Gordon goal for Middlesbrough. Great goal. Greening plays the ball to Gordon, who goes on a fantastic run. He eats up the ground, dances past Courtois, and then smashes the ball hard and low into the bottom corner. Brilliant. Sounds like a cracking goal. And look, people have been talking about Ricardo Gardner and Julio Arca. Son, obviously, Gardner's out injured for 5 months now. Arca, Dean Gordon. Dean Gordon is regularly playing 5.5 as a defender out of position for Middlesbrough, who are likely to finish top half, I would suggest. That's really decent. Really, really decent value. The concern is the place on the team. And I think if you go with him, you want 4 other solid, you would consider likely first choice starters. Nothing is a guarantee in this game, as we're finding out, like with Hasselbank tonight. We have a goal for Blackburn. I'll get straight to it for FPL Graphics. An assist for 2 Guy. The goal scorer is Matt Janssen. Assist for 2 Guy. So a captaincy return there for FPL Graphics. Assist for 2 Guy. Goal for Matt Janssen. Blackburn lead Bolton 1-0 at Ewood Park. 8 minutes gone. Richard Skeen in the chat. Our friend Ipswich fan says Gordon is a machine. Andrews Hermitage, Duff not starting means he's on the cut list for me. Few games to judge, then he could be gone. Yeah. FPL Graphics, who's got 2 Guy captain, has also got Dean Gordon first on his bench. Wow. Interesting. Cool. Let's have a bit of fucking beer, man. I do enough talking to myself, and I. How's the stream holding up, by the way, guys? Because I just see it pop up there. The connection was a bit unstable. Is it all okay? Do let us know. We have a goal at the Stadium of Light. Marion Pahars is the goal scorer for Southampton. Assist for Howard. Marion Pahars with the goal for Southampton. They lead 1-0 at Sunderland. Also, 8 minutes gone there. Nick Griffith, bit shaky for me, having to refresh. It's a bit laggy. Not liking this, guys. Little unstable, but holding. Wife, stop using the internet, please. Thanks. We're having problems. Oh, I know. It's me. Shit, don't tell her. It's me. It's because I've been on the fucking Wi-Fi on Twitter. Don't tell her. It should be better now. I've just turned the Wi-Fi off my phone. It should be better now. So it's all right. You okay?
What did you do?
Shh, you're live on YouTube.
I don't care. What did you do and blame me?
Nothing. Love you, honey. How's our son?
Better at technology than you.
Yeah, okay. Update on that Matt Jansen goal for Blackburn. Blackburn's early pressure pays. Two-guy plays an incisive ball over the top to Jansen, and he nods past Jaskalainen. Bolton look like they're wanting to attack now. That's all right. Could have done that in the first place. Listen, to sum up for FPL Irons, I'm always in trouble, boy. Always in trouble. That was staged anyway. It's all staged just for your internet enjoyment purposes, guys. We have a goal at the Valley. Clean sheet bust for Aston Villa. Goal scorer is Scott Parker, and an assist on his Charlton debut for Jason Wilcox. I don't want to say that I nearly bought Scott Parker this week, but I was looking everywhere at Charlton. So I guess any Charlton return today was going to look like a... I'm a little disappointed that I've not ended up with a Nolan or something there, because I really wanted to go against that Villa clean sheet tonight, because I know so many out there. Is there anybody in this chat that doesn't have either Schmeichel, Staunton, Melberg or Alpay? Like, everybody must have something defensive at Aston Villa at the moment. So Ed Cannon's in there saying like he's got double Villa defensive about it. Richard Rufus plays a nice pass to Jason Wilcox. He takes his time before squaring for Scott Parker. He takes an excellent first touch, which sets up his chance, and he absolutely buries it. Richard Rufus assisted the assist there. FPL Sergeant, I see there saying no, Aston Villa. Whitebeard, if that's Whitebeard who's done the excellent work on Twitter, by the way, from everybody, thank you very much for your data assessment and the work you've done on the sheets and the formations and the stuff. Give Whitebeard FPL a follow. He's done some brilliant stuff. If it's not him, then hi, Whitebeard. FPL Sergeant saying about Villa, they're shaky, man. But I think the majority of people, oh yeah, clean sheet wipeout point, that Sudger's got a return from Wilcox. Is very true. Most people will have some sort of like Villa defensive asset, that's for sure. We have a substitution at Pride Park. I think this isn't going to affect most of you. Oh dear, Fabrizio Ravanelli, playing today with an injury and at 90% fitness, suffers what looks like a recurrence of his hamstring injury, and he is replaced by Branko Strupar. So it's been a lot of talk about will people on 90% fitness play or won't play, and I think the general consensus is if they're important key men like Ravanelli would be for Derby, then he's going to play, and it's a risk. I'm going to presume nobody out there's got Ravanelli. I'm going to best agreed. Gary Shepherd with a really good point, and listen to what I'm going to say. Some people have already mentioned it, but come on, guys, let James read the notifications before posting who's scored. And there's a few agreed. I see a couple of little jolly excited people in game week 2 who wanted to try and beat me. My God, there's an assist for Dean Gordon as well at Middlesbrough. Goal and assist. Middlesbrough 2 up at West Ham, motherfuckers. Noel Whelan with the second for Middlesbrough. Middlesbrough, who did I say? Did I say Middlesbrough? Middlesbrough lead 2-0 at West Ham. Noel Whelan with the second. Dean Gordon is now goal and assist, and obviously is only 14 minutes gone, but potentially on for a clean sheet and a monster haul there. He's now going to be very quickly on everybody's radar. There's a few Gordon wagons, Gordon Wows, getting. I mean, I'm guessing Ian Parrin has him. Yeah, just to finish my my point in terms of people when to try and be like the hero and post in the chat who scored first. It's a lot of people who just want to. I don't give a shit, by the way, but there's a lot of people who would rather hear it from myself and hear it from me before they see it come up in the chat. And at the same time, people want to partake in the chat, so they don't want to be put off the chat. Do you understand? So it's cool. Once I've announced it, you can pop in Gordon, wow, and all that shit. Just try and give it 5-10 seconds or so, guys. Yeah, sweet. Gordon turns provider for Whelan. He goes on another marauding run before playing the ball into Noel Whelan. He brings the ball into the area unchallenged before hitting a hard finish past Hislop. Borough will look to sit back now. 15 minutes gone at Upton Park, and that is 2-0 to Middlesbrough at the West Ham. It's not having a particular pop at anyone. Just think of other people and whatever, they're enjoying it in their own way. So that's all. There's quite a few people have asked me to say that, so now I've said it. I just lit him through the chat because I see someone's put something in there which, as far as I'm concerned at the moment, is incorrect information. So well done. FPL Charles is saying West Ham clearly going to be absolute jakes this season. Yeah, it's typical West Ham, isn't it? Bad result, good result, bad result. You know how they work. Gary Shepherd saying hashtag Flash Gordon. Yeah, up your Lord Staunton. I don't see them shouting now. Flash Gordon sounds like a new good hashtag to get going. Yeah, and that's another reason what you're seeing there in the chat now is exactly why you're better off waiting for me to say something first. So, yeah. Okay, so we've had quite a few early goals there. Yep, if I remember all the fixtures. I can't believe that Spurs have made it to 15 minutes in at Leeds and haven't conceded. That's a surprise. So we are still 0-0 at Stamford Bridge. At Highbury, Blackburn lead Bolton 1-0, goal by Matt Jansen. Charlton lead Aston Villa 1-0, goal from Scott Parker. Manchester United are 0-0 at Pride Park against Derby. Ravanelli's been withdrawn. Leeds Tottenham is 0-0. Leicester and Ipswich is 0-0. Sunderland Southampton is 0-0. Middlesbrough lead 2-0 at West Ham. Goal and assist for Dean Gordon. Other goal scorer for Middlesbrough was Noel Whelan. Alex saying Veron needs to deliver here. My concern with Veron is what I said previously. He's 12 million and I've got Van Nistelrooy now and I can't sell him without ownership. I just can't. So at the moment, I just captain in Van Nistelrooy as we go. Although I might not in game week 4, by the way. I might well go with Jason Ewell, actually, with the 2 fixtures. But his ownership's so high. You can't have Van Nistelrooy really and not captain him. Although I've seen a few have been brave enough to go Henry instead, and it's not saying you can't do that. I just think it's incredibly brave. I don't have that kind of size of bollocks, to be honest with you. So at the moment, I've got a 12 million asset I'm never going to captain. So I don't know what to do. Thank you, Jose Vargas. I see your point there, man. Thank you. KG_007 looking for confirmation where Gordon plays. He's 5.5 and he's listed as a defender, as Andy Martin's pointed that out further down the chat. So too is Alex as well. So too is Jack Tasker. John D, hashtag Gordon's alive. That's also very good, John. Auto Recluse is wondering who scores more tonight, Ruud van Nistelrooy or Henry. Remember, as I said, those difficult fixtures in game week 4 for both. Arsenal at home to Chelsea, Manchester United away to Leeds. So difficult fixtures for all 4 of those sides in game week 4. Well, there's that double for Charlton and Bolton. Oh, excuse me. Well, that's far more attractive for Charlton, isn't it? All right, guys. Remember, let's be nice to each other. I think the point's been made now. Manchester Reds, can't believe our captain Duff, man. Hope he doesn't come on after 45. Quite possibly. Ian Parrin, Gorford or Gordon. E. Brune, I think the game is pretty light on premium midfielders. It's feeling that way at the moment, E. Brune. I listened earlier today. Shout out to FPL Teachman. I know FPL Irons is in the chat. Listened to their Wolfpack pod earlier today. Really good. Gave that a share. So if you want to, I mean, slightly dated now, but if you want to have a listen back to it, it obviously covers game week 4 as well. You'll see that through my timeline. I gave that a retweet earlier. Richard Skeen saying mids really are a bit of a minefield. There's a few people like Alex beginning to look at sort of like 5-3-2s, even 5-2-3s. I think 5-2-3 is a little dangerous as a permanent strategy. FPL Woollyback saying Svensson is going to come on for the last 30 minutes and bang 2 goals. Is he back on the bench for Southampton? Is he? I missed that. Craig Hermitage, Gordon's ownership going into game week 2 was 5.3% owned. How high will that be before game week 4? I just think other people might be looking elsewhere, to be honest, for it to jump a lot. But I mean, with that sort of performance and in an away game, it's really going to be on people's radar now, isn't it? An update from Stamford Bridge where it remains 0-0 between Chelsea and Newcastle. Great save. Zola has already had 1 free kick go close. And here's another. This time, Shay Given makes a great stop from the Italian set piece. Dabizos had fouled Johnson on the edge of the box, for which he received a yellow. Warming up here. So yellow card for Nikos Dabizas. They will have included that because he's quite highly owned. As in my team, he's got about 20 to 25% ownership. I think Dabizas. So they've highlighted there that Dabizas has picked up a yellow card. I really didn't want to play with him this week, but if he can get me a little 5-pointer there, if they can hold on to a cleanie, I'll certainly take it. Clean sheet wipeout saying, get James in the group chat, although he'd smashed the quizzes. If you like Planet FPL quizzes or you like FPL quizzes within the community, I won't reveal who, but you might find me on a couple of other channels next week where I'll be doing quizzes. Also pleased to say, if you're sick of my face come Sunday, you think, sugar, no Planet FPL on a Sunday, I've got more for you on Sunday as well. I'm going to be having a chat on Friday, which the guys will release on Sunday with Lee and Sam from FPL Family. Lee's obviously a big Liverpool fan, Sam, big Spurs. And the 3 of us are going to have a bit of a chat about last season's Champions League. So for those who are more into the Planet FPL podcast, that you'll probably get quite a few insights from me on Spurs and my journey last year if you're into that sort of thing. So I'm pretty sure that'll go out Sunday night from FPL Family, but we're going to pre-record that on Friday. So yeah, I've got 10 pieces of content in 7 days, definitely. And I think that just keeps rolling for a little while. Jack Tasker's playing 5-2-3 tonight, mainly due to the Fulham blank. Yeah, if you've got like a Mal Brandt, Bowen or I can understand where you might have been in that position where you don't want to sell and you're holding. I just think it's not necessarily the right setup to be looking to have Nolan, Robinson and another 4.5 or whomever as those as your free subs, because those guys are going to be coming into your team as well. So I just wouldn't necessarily aim for a back 5 particularly, but at the moment it feels like the midfield's light. I would suggest, just like real FPL, that there will be patterns that will change. Try and find the patterns before they change. There will be a point where I can see it now in 5 or 6 weeks and everyone's going, do we all need to get back on the premium mids? And I'll sit here and go, yeah, probably. So the game will change, I would suggest. The guys who've done the pricing have done their pricing for a reason, right? Like Veron is going to smash it up at some stage. It's almost a certainty. Like nobody's even really done a sim where he's performed badly. So at some point he is going to do the business for sure. Carl Norbury saying Lundberg and Perez should be better on the game. Scholes as well. Yeah, you can remember, say for Arsenal here, the adjustment of no Vieira. Paul Scholes not getting in the Man United team at the moment. Block FPL, Duff and Dunn are frauds. Don't worry, I'll have him out for the next week. Ryan agreed, setting that fraud Damien Duff for Solano this game week. KG 007, an attack of Rue Van Nistelrooy, Henry and Shearer would be fire. Shearer very much on my radar. Very, very much. The problem with Shearer is he probably will get injured again. But while he's fit, it could well be worth it. He's capable of matching the other two at 3 million cheaper. And it probably needs actually to get that break away from Van Nistelrooy, for example. It needs him to have a couple of blanks, Viduka and Shearer and the likes around that area, Robbie Fowler, whatever, to go mental. Alex, that's too far, man, but thanks. KG _ 007 costs more than my goalkeeper defense. Yeah, Rory's got the right idea. Just bin him out, innit? Like, I've seen his name now, so I'm not going to read out anything that he said. So just mute him, innit? Oh, look at this! 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 I don't know if you can see that. You can probably see that one, though. It's a second goal. Goal scorer, Grabby, assist none. I just got followed by Ben Crellin, which is like making it in life, isn't it, really? Ben Crellin 2, by the way, not Ben Crellin. Second goal for Blackburn. Corrado Grabby, the goal scorer. No assist there. Blackburn lead Bolton Wanderers by 2-0. We were about 25 minutes gone. James Street saying Shearer always disappoints in my sims. It's interesting. Always injured or sold. I saw one sim where he joined Celtic randomly. Talking of that, everybody seems to think Ugo Egiog leaves Middlesbrough. Every single simulation. It's worth noting. Mark Dorney, think I've heard Veron always does okay, but does not live up to the price tag always. Jeff Holt, very quiet on my scoring so far this season. 98 coming into tonight. We have a goal at Pride Park. The goal scorer is David Beckham. Excuse me. Is he curtains or shaved head at the moment, Bex? I don't know what he is. But David Beckham has scored for Manchester United at Derby. There is, again, no assister. So assist none is doing quite well this evening, as he often does in FPL. FPL is saying free kick question. I don't have the information as yet, but I will update you. The suspicion was that Beckham wasn't on the free kicks against Blackburn in game week 2. But the guys will give a report briefly in terms of that goal. I should have an update on that. James Street says, knew I should have dropped Veron for Bex. Were touting. An update on that Corrado Grabby goal. 2 guy heavily involved again. He plays a lovely ball for Bent, who sees his shot excellently saved by Jaskalainen, but who is waiting but Corrado Grabby, ready to tap the ball into the empty net. Blackburn on top and comfortable. So what would have been an FPL assist there for Marcus Bent, as we've said several times, will not get awarded it in this. Pizarro in the chat saying getting Bent looks a good shout. Brad Lewington, who's this nun and what's his price? He's a 3.0 defender, mate. FPL Bricky, get in Bex. Captain, with you on Giovanni Van Bronckhorst, need to get him out. I think the whole thing with Vieira has made Arsenal a bit more of a watch and wait, where I was sure I would want to go back into them for these fixtures. Here's the commentary on the Beckham goal. Roy Keane plays Van Nistelrooy through over the top. The ex-PSV man sees his powerful half volley saved by Poon, but it falls in a dangerous area and David Beckham pounces to drive home low. So the goal from open play would have been an FPL assist for Van Nistelrooy. Doesn't get it in this. It's obviously the first goal that Derby County have conceded this season as well, following a 1-0 with Spurs and a 0-0 at Villa Park in game week 2. Samuel DB has passed 100 points with that Beckham goal. Good man. FPL Chancer, Veronta Bex will be the first season bandwagon. Could be. If he blanks again, that 2 million saving, yeah, I can see people doing that, Dan. Manchester Reds, is there an indefinite amount of outcomes in this game? If so, Sims are pointless. Not pointless because it was something that I didn't want to do because I want to play this game. That was very much my opinion. But if you look at some of the analysis that like Luke's done, Luke's predicted the Chelsea team today, and he put down that it was like a 50-50 call if Stanic was going to play at number 10 or at right wing back. And he's played. He had no doubt that Stanic would play. He called that Gallas would come back in. So he's got a familiarity in terms of goals, assists. What a simulation won't tell you is what the fixtures were. And I think a lot of this game, personally, is going to be about getting on the right teams with the right fixtures at the right time. That's one of the strong things. So you can look at all the sims you want. The way this has worked out with Charlton, now with double game week 4, that looks really attractive. How many times did that happen in other sims? So what did Charlton do in double game weeks when they had a Middlesbrough at home and a Bolton at home? We don't have that information, do we? So different sims going to do different things. It just takes one slight adjustment to something and it will knock all the other algorithms of the game, essentially. I wouldn't say it's pointless. It was something that I didn't want to do. I would rather just focus on this game, and I'll pick up. The other thing for me is as well, other people are going to do the hard work and share the information. So there's no need for me to do it. But I wouldn't say there was no point. Woolly Bat, I'll try and tell the guys not to tweet anymore. Sorry, guys. That appears to be not holding up as well as it did on Saturday. I don't know the reason for that. Do not have Wi-Fi on my phone or anything. No, that one's not on either. FPL Irons, Van Nistelrooy not getting the assist along with a Beckham goal. Scenes for Irons. Ian Parrin, Arsenal defence the way to go. They, Man United and Liverpool, often the tightest at the back by a distance. That's true. We have a goal at Filbert Street. Clean sheet bust for Leicester. Goal scorer for Ipswich is Jermaine Wright. Our old friend Nunn has the assist. So goal for Ipswich at Leicester. Jermaine Wright, the goal scorer. Woody back. I love you too, mate. Rob Reed, Sims show how random a few things can be. I had one where Marcus Bent scored 39 Premier League goals for Blackburn. I've seen a few of these sort of stories, like Nemeth going mad, Dean Sturridge going mad. Andrew Martin, it's his game, was in with a comment. Spot on with that, James. Playing fixtures is the key. Good planning will be rewarded. I think that's right. I really do. I think this is where, for those in the chat who have played the Sky game, we have another goal at the Valley, and it's a debut goal now for Jason Wilcox to go with the earlier assist. The assist goes to Luke Young, who I very nearly brought in as the alternative to Richard Rufus, but obviously went with Rufus, and correctly so, because he is the safer choice as Charlton's star man at the back. So 2-0 to Charlton. Jason Wilcox now goal and assist. His second goal there, adding to Scott Parker's earlier strike. And Luke Young has the assist for the second. Richard Skeens in with Super George Burley. Not to be confused with Craig Burley. George Burley, obviously the Ipswich manager at the time. Whitebeard saying it thanks to Disabled Luke for the right tip. Tom Campbell, who was our quiz master today. He's in the chat. He says, hi, mate. Listen to the main pod. Genuinely lulled when Suj had finished his team. Your immediate reaction? Wild card, mate. He didn't. Tom, it's at a -4. If you don't know Tom, you can still register now, by the way, mate. If you want to get yourself a team, I'd recommend it. Go and see the Fantasy Champ Man account. I know you're not signed up. I think you should give it a go, mate. Tom did the quiz on the Planet FPL today. It was based on the 2013-14 season, and it wasn't easy. There was no research for me. I got 19 out of a possible 35 from 20 questions. It was really, really good fun on the 13-14 season. it's just fun to, I think, editing it back, it was really fun it was one of the most fun I'd had editing a podcast back, having Tom on it. Tom is an absolute gent. You can follow Tom at Utterly TC on Twits. Update on that Jason Wilcox goal. What a debut this is proving for Wilcox. Luke Young looks to find the on-rushing Sean Bartlett in the middle. Everyone misses it though, and the ball arrives at Wilcox's feet, and he makes no mistake with the finish. And on Jermaine Wright's goal for Ipswich at Leicester, Fanidi is sent through one-on-one with Tim Flowers. The ex-England keeper does brilliant to stop the shot, but the ball rebounds to Jermaine Wright, who was up in support to tap home, so it was very nearly an OOP goal there for Fanidi George. Ipswich lead at Leicester. Obviously, as a reminder, Charlton now lead Villa by 2-0. Sam Thomas, Wilcox ownership about to rocket. Clean sheet wipeout. Bloody hell. Wilcox a bandwagon next week for sure. Listen, I nearly bought every Charlton player this week. Because like what Andy said earlier, I wanted to get in before to take advantage of what I believe was a very good home fixture against Aston Villa, not for the double game week, to try and take advantage of this fixture as well. So, I was going to be brave enough to start Rufus over Melberg and Dabizas, and no doubt about that once I come to the decision, watch Charlton go and lose 3-2. Now I've said that. Bill Hadaway says Suj will be happy. Suj probably won't even know till about Friday, Billy, to be honest. Captain with a K also says, watch that Wilcox ownership go nuts. Block FPL, Wilcox the best signing I've ever made. KG is telling me to be easy on the beer. It's going to be a long night. It's always a long night, mate. I have a 16-month-old son. It's always a long night. James Street, no, Fanidi. One of my OOP picks. Michael Devlin, the game really is a shining light in this difficult time. Quite agree, mate. Captain said Kinsella looked a good shout early on mind. Yeah, until I reckon he was left out tonight. Sorry about that earlier, guys, by the way. Ryan Wilcox doing bits, but Kinsella doing nothing. Yeah, there'll be more ownership for Kinsella. That's an absolute certainty. FPL tractor. He comes from Africa. He drives a big tractor. Fanidi. Whoa. Brian Yule, I think a wild card is an order already. Free West Ham was so not the way to go. Yeah, but you weren't saying that last week. Well, it depends on the free you had, obviously, but you can't trust West Ham. This is why this game does have some similarities with real life. Like, you can't trust them. Rory, 3 FPL assists already denied this week. Yeah, off goalkeeper saves. It's absolutely true. We have a substitution at Ellen Road. Even game at Ellen Road. Both sides have had chances. Keller's made 2 great saves. Change of shape for Spurs with Tim Sherwood coming off to be replaced by Matt Etherington. That's interesting. I think for those who may still have Poyet knocking about, that would probably mean him going deeper. That's interesting. Or it could mean it wouldn't make it sense to play Etherington at right wing back. I was going to say could play there and Anderton go centre. It doesn't really make sense either. Could even be a change to a back 4, possibly Ziga to left back, and then maybe Chris Perry or Dean Richards to right back, possibly. Could be just as likely and just leave Sheringham behind Rebroff. That would probably be my guess on that. I don't know if Andy, Dave and James, if you're still in the chat, I don't know if there's a way when this sort of thing happens, when you do your stream on a Sunday night, if there's a way that you can inform people of what this is. So they're changing the shape, but what are they changing it to? Whether that's something you'd let us know maybe at the time, or if it's something we can ask you during, I think just asking us during your streams would probably be more sensible for you guys rather than having to do the extra investigative in the first place. But yeah, maybe you can't find out. I don't know. If you can't, you can't. But that would be really good to know, actually. That was the case with the Blackburn one in game week 1, because of the change they made was quite obvious to read what they'd done. This Spurs one is not so much the case, really. Jeff Holt had Sherwood. I've got some advice for that, Jeff. Get rid of Sherwood. He was a two-faced bastard, he was. Ian Parry next. Posh, Etherington, yeah, as was Simon Davis, who's also in the side. Cole Norbury, Everton, Stoke legend. Mate, I wouldn't type that sort of thing out loud, mate. It's not making your club look very good. We have another goal for Ipswich and another goal for Jermaine Wright. Whatever Dean Gordon can do, etc. I'll raise you one. Jermaine Wright with the goal for Ipswich and Jim Magilton with the assist. If I'm not mistaken, that was the same combo for the first. No, it wasn't. There wasn't an assist for the first. But Jermaine Wright with his second for Ipswich. Assist Jim Magilton. I couldn't even tell you Jermaine Wright's price. He'd be so far off my radar. Eric Nez Onstad in the chat. Wilcox and Grabby for -4. Nice. James Street, are there other CM games freely available or just 0102? You're just talking about Championship Manager, James. I suggest not to sound an arsehole about it, but Google is probably the best person to ask. Yeah, I think quite a lot of them are. Quite a lot of them are, I would have thought. We have another goal for Charlton at the Valley and another assist for Jason Wilcox. The goal scorer is Sean Bartlett. Whitebeard in the chat saying Jermaine Wright is 5 million. So it's now goal and 2 assists for Jason Wilcox. Wilcox, Gordon, and Jermaine Wright. If you've got the 3 of them in your team, show me a screenshot. Don't try and be clever and play with your sheet because you will score 0. Nobody has got those 3 players in their team. But if you've got any one of them, I'd suggest very, very well done so far today. Quite a few people have Sean Bartlett as well, so well done. So it's 3-0 Charlton against Aston Villa 4 minutes before half-time. As I kind of suggested, have a rethink about Villa defensively because they ain't that great. So them being 3-0 up is surprising, but it doesn't surprise me that Charlton are winning, certainly. I've got a message from Serge. It says, Wilcox, give me 3 thumbs. We have a goal for Leeds at Ellen Road against Spurs. Mark Viduka is the scorer. The assister is Harry Kewell. Well done to Viduka. Captainers out there, you have the Viduka return. And there's Harry Kewell's first attacking return of the season as well. It's against Spurs. That's why I don't sound too happy about it. That Kewell is in my squad. That's 1-0 to Leeds, about 3 minutes before half-time there. Mark Viduka, Harry with the goal, Harry Kewell assist. I'm sure there are people out there who've got the double of both. They must do. Must be people out there who've got both. James Street. Glad I benched Schmeichel for Kylie. Inspired. That's until James Schmeichel saves a penalty in the second half. Then you feel different about it. We have a goal for Newcastle at Stamford Bridge, which is Solano, and also a goal for Freddie Canute at West Ham. Couple come through together. Freddie Canute with a goal back for West Ham. Courtois, who's been popular at 5.5 with the assist. And just to get that Norberto Solano information up as well, he's given Newcastle the lead at Chelsea. Another assist for none. So a couple of quick goals in succession there. Canute is in my team. Touch. So 1-0 to Newcastle, surprisingly, at Chelsea. It makes me feel better about selling Gallus, I can tell you that. Solano. I thought it was a week early with that fixture, but there will be plenty of people out there happy to see Joe Finley batter. Solano, what a transfer. Rob Chetty, the Peruvian Pele. FPL Willie Back's got Viduka and Kewell at last. Right, information on a load of these goals. So we did the Bartlett's goal. Wilcox in the thick of it again. He makes a fine run down the left before picking out Bartlett in the middle. The South African rises above Melberg and nods it home to Cap. Superb team build-up. Villa sinking without a trace. Some of these, unfortunately, are personal messages. Wankers. Don't really care about people. Information on the Mark Viduka goal for Leeds. Harry Kewell has had an outstanding first half, and this goal is all down to him. Kewell weaves his magic down the left before picking out Viduka with a perfect cross. His header is straight at Keller, but it's too powerful to keep out. Sounds like Keller possibly should have saved that. But Harry Kewell has had a great first half for Leeds. I think we can read into that. We have another goal for Middlesbrough. Noel Whelan is the goal scorer. Alan Johnston with the assist. Middlesbrough lead 3-1 at West Ham. It is all going off before half-time here. So we got a couple of goals to catch up on from West Ham. The information on the Freddie Kanouté goal. Lifeline for West Ham just at the right time. That didn't last long. Shem will switch his play to Courtois, crosses to the far post. Kanouté outjumps Festa and powers his header home. Borough look to come out their shells once again. Information on the Solano goal. Laurent Robert puts a corner in, which Marcelino meets. Cudicini pushes the header away, but Solano shows great reactions to pounce on the loose ball and fire home. If anything, Chelsea have been slightly on top, but they trail. I think we would have expected Chelsea to be on top. One thing I certainly can say is you can certainly expect that Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank introduction now as well. Just dropping shit as usual there. But it's not taken long. Chelsea are level. The goal scorer is Jody Morris. And you can guess the theme here. The assister is none. Equaliser for Chelsea. Jody Morris, the goal scorer, assist for none. Clean sheet wipeout for Nikos Dabizas owners or anybody else who's got any other Newcastle shit like me. Guys, all kicking off there before half time, wasn't it? Manchester Reds playing Schmeichel over Given. Matters a little less now, mate. James Vidal, I think I'm just as bad at this as regular FPL. Nice to be back. I'll raise you one there, James. Nice. Rob Chetty, goals galore tonight. I suspected it would be like that. Yeah, it's good fun. Mark Tawney, brace for Whelan. Good shot spot there, Mark. Thank you very much. Information on Whelan's second goal for Middlesbrough. Total fluke. Whelan looks to play a long ball forward for Rickard, but hits it far too hard. However, Hislop is out of position and the ball floats out of his reach and into the net. Bizarre. Di Canio then goes close immediately from the restart. Information on that Jody Morris goal. The official account contradicting themselves now. Saw it out, Andy, Dave. Newcastle have been on top first half, but Chelsea score after a heavy period of pressure. From Gronkjar's corner, there is a real scramble. Stanic looks set to score, but Given saves miraculously. But Morris makes no mistake on the rebound. How cool. Shitload of goals. That is half time. So to clarify, just run you through the half times. Arsenal and Everton is 0-0. Blackburn lead Bolton by 2-0. Charlton lead Villa 3-0. It includes a goal and 2 assists, I think, for Jason Wilcox. Chelsea and Newcastle is 1-1 with those late goals just for half time from Solano, cancelled out by Jody Morris. Manchester United lead at Derby through David Beckham. Mark Viduka has put Leeds in front against Tottenham. Ipswich are 2-up at Leicester, both goals from Jermaine Wright. Southampton lead 1-0 at Sunderland. Middlesbrough lead 3-1 at West Ham. An update on the Super Cup as well. Liverpool and Bayern Munich is 0-0. I can't recall the Southampton goal at all. Was that really early? Oh, yeah, Marion Pahar scored after 9 minutes. Bloody hell. Couldn't remember at all. That was a long time ago. Yeah, Liverpool and Bayern Munich is 0-0 in the first half of that Super Cup final. It has no impact on anything to do with FPL. Richard Skeen, Stanic, Ryan McLeod, piss off Given, FPL Bricky, phew. Darren Addy, Arsenal need to do something and not concede. Adam Baines, I've got a second half team anyway. FPL Chancellor's got Unsworth and Weir on the bench. Brian Newell, I never even noticed Jody Morris has started the game. Rory, 16 goals, 11 assists, mental. That's called the first half of football when you got 9 games going on. Ryan, how do I still have no one doing anything so far? Rob Reed, Pahars for Saints. Ian Parrin, Pahars. Thanks, guys. Yeah, just catching up through the chat. Jeff Holt, explain game to my wife who can understand while we are taking notice. She thanks you, James, for keeping me occupied and smiling. Big up, Jeff. Take care of that wifey of yours, mate. Alex Wilcox and Viduka for returns here. What about you guys? Clean sheet wipeout. Benching Kylie for Hislop has been a woeful decision today. Yeah, fucking Hislop as well. Mind you, I got Casey Keller. Manchester Reds, what's Phillips doing? Nearly bought him in at the start. Not a lot. I've got him in my head-to-head with Rob Pick, the scout. I had first pick this week in our head-to-head. I went with Kevin Phillips. He went with Muzzy Izzet, which I thought was random. But, hey. Jack Tarsky is on Viduka, Kuehl, Beckham and Grabby. You're having a good week, mate. Benny Banco, I might be the only person in the game not to have a single player score a goal in 2.5 game weeks. That's some achievement. It is, mate. FPL Woody back just Viduka and Kuehl for him in the first half. Joel Stout, I'm still yet to have a return from midfield in all 3 game weeks. C Hayes _ FPL, Blanco by name, Blanco by nature. KG _ 007. Okay, time for wildcard. I don't think so. Go back to the start and listen to what I said about how game week 12 could completely manipulate into a fuck ton of doubles and potentially be the biggest double game week of the lot. It's possible. Unlikely. It needs a certain set of results, which Ben Crellin will explain better than me. But it could be a massive double game week. So wildcard now, and then you're going to need to get to that at short notice. I'm holding mine. I would only use it now if you hated your team, and I mean hated it. And in fact, I'd make a case to say I'd only do it if you've got 4 or 5 players who ain't starting and you're in big trouble. I'd do what Sush did. Take a few hits and fix it. I strongly believed that the wild card was never really on the table if Liverpool's doubles didn't happen. As soon as I kind of found out that they were unlikely on the eve of game week 1, thank you FPL Dougal for pointing that out to me, I felt that it was just off the table. What was there suddenly wild card in 2? I don't see it for me. I know a lot of people are going to wild card this week, and that's absolutely okay. There are no rights and wrongs. It's not for me personally. FPL Fish just got in to see his Wilcox returns. Anurag says Bex and Solana are only positive for me so far. Hislop, Repka and Melberg fail. I'm just on Canute goal and Kuehl assist. I'm potentially sitting on Manchester United, Leeds and Charlton clean sheets, potentially. FPL Booster, Bex, Kuehl and double Chelsea defence for me so far. Rory, I have Laurent Blanc in defence. I also have Blanc, 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 Blanc and Blanc filling out the rest of my team. I really should have read that as blank, 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 blank. Rob Reed, game week 12, free hit. Yeah, it could be a way around it. It could be Rob, yeah. Ryan, God help me. Missed FPL, haven't we? Yeah. FPL Woody back, sitting on 4 clean sheets with backline at half time. Can't wait for James to pick them off one by one second half. I'm definitely going to pick some of them off, mate. You know it. Rob Reed, yep, this really fills that FPL gap. 2 game weeks a week. Keep it fast and fun. Just remember, guys, for those who might have missed what I said earlier, although it's 3 days in our world to game week 4, there is actually a period of break in the game of about 2 weeks where there's internationals, there's going to be transfers, there's going to be shit. I wouldn't even think about what I was doing for game week 4 till the account said on Friday, yeah, game week 4 is now open. Here's all the internationals, here's all the transfer data, here's all the injuries. So, patience. Ryan, low-key missed feeling this awful from FPL. Don't feel awful about it. Just treat it what it is, a fun game, and only one of us can win this shit, right? But we've all got a chance. None of us have really got a chance in the official FPL, have we? FPL Chancellor, Hislop to Kylie, probably my game week 4 move. Can't be dealing with West Ham already. Yeah, that's fair enough, mate. Particularly if you haven't got, if you got like Bible on the bench, shit like that, then yeah, you're going to be feeling that. But then they had the really unexpected clean sheet at Everton, didn't they? So home to Newcastle game week 4, I think West Ham. You wouldn't fancy it, but I don't know. Rory says, this is FPL on crack. Probably is, mate. Also, Recluse, the fun of this game is we will get more goals in second half. That's also probably true. Don't tell Woody Pack, though. He's on 4 clean sheets, the poor bugger. Clean sheet wipeout. Duff to stay on the bench means the mighty Wayne Bridge would come on for me. And he's another one potentially on a clean sheet at the moment, away to Sunderland. Adam Baines, game week 4 new starters will be above me by game week 5. Depends how bad it is, Adam, but yeah, prepare yourself. Good thing is you won't know. Rory, hopefully the exact opposite of that shit show. C Hayes _ FPL. It's a blank game week, to be fair, Rory. FPL Sergeant, this champ man is truly a game for the age. All of us sitting at home, being safe, keeping others safe, and coming up with all this. I marvel at it, really. We'll all remember this in years to come. Do you know what? Anybody who is playing this game is going to remember that time when it was in isolation. They were locked in their house for 4 months. It's not that long, but could be. Get ready, guys. I was locked in our house for 4 months, and what kept me going? I was thinking about a fantasy game on a computer simulation. Imagine telling your grandkids that. What did you do? Oh, dear. Mind you, they'll probably understand the whole idea of computer games a little bit better, maybe. Rushkers is saying it's time for the wild card. Mark Dorney, Bowyat, Solano, and then bring in a Charlton player somewhere. Okay, I think we're up to date chat-wise, guys. So we're about 3 minutes before second half. So if there's anything slightly off topic you want to get into quick, do by all means. While we're waiting, I'll do a little bit of self-promo. So main cut podcast we did was Monday night. You can view that by going to Planet FPL Pod and viewing my pinned tweet. Yesterday, we released the podcast on the best ever 11 of players never to play for England. So uncapped Englishmen, basically, which caused no arguments with anybody other than my dad was insistent that Billy Bonds shouldn't have been at centre half and he should be in midfield. And I got West Ham fans in this chat who haven't even questioned that, but my dad wanted to have a go, which is all good. Billy Bonds played multiple positions. And probably at his peak, he probably did play in midfield, in fairness. He spent most of the 80s at centre half, and it was in 81 that he should have played against Brazil. There's some spoilers from that. A lot of you are just thinking, what are you talking about, James? Yeah, we picked a team that stretched from the 60s all the way up to the decades that's just gone, actually. So a wide range of stuff. There's some good football nostalgia in there if you like that sort of thing. Today we had Tom Campbell's quiz, which is based on 2013-14 season. It's hard, but I think even if you don't get many of the questions right, you'll enjoy the bants and me shitting myself. That's a good one to watch on YouTube, actually, because on a few of them questions, you'll see me get asked questions and I'm like, no idea. Tomorrow we'll be recording Do I Not Like That podcast, a throwback to when England failed to qualify for the World Cup in USA in 1994. We're looking at England's qualifying campaign. I'm going to stream again on Friday, guys, that's just, I'll switch it on and whatever comes in that chat, I'll discuss it in further detail than perhaps what I would do now, etc. So coming that, it'll probably be lunchtime-ish Friday. Saturday, touch wood, we'll do this again. 2:30 or 2:45 till 5-ish, we'll do it again. Then on Sunday it should be on FPL Family, and then we go again next week. And there's 2 other shows which I'll be on next week. One's an audio and one's a YouTube as well. But I'll let you know through Twitter. I'm not going to announce it before they do, put it that way. But Lee from FPL Family did announce today, so I'm happy to share that one. Also Recluse, James and guys should get knighted when this is all done. Yes, James Alapron and Andy Martin and Dave should get knighted. Yeah, not me. I'm just talking in front of a webcam. Doesn't matter. Clean sheet wipeout saying, what a story. I presume that's something I said previously rather than our podcast schedule. Eric Ravo, buddy, brilliant. Mark Dorney, quiz tomorrow, James. Well, the quiz is released, the one with Tom Campbell, so you can catch on it whenever it is. One of the beautiful things about the quizzes with this is like you can listen to whenever you want. If you want to do a day's binge of the quizzes we do on a Wednesday in a couple of weeks, like you can do, can't you? You might even enjoy that more if you've got, perhaps when you've got friends together and whatnot. So second half is underway around the grounds. First half was spoiled us. Surely we can't expect more of the same. Who knows where the road will lead us? State of me. Pisshead. James Villette, need a Duff block here. Too many bench points out there. Rushkers, mate, fantastic work. Keep us all entertained in the corona time. I shall, mate. Captain, did you end up finding a solid one-cap wonder team researching the uncapped 11? To be honest, listen to it. That was the pod from Tuesday, but shit. It wouldn't finish top 4 in the Premier League. We said that at the end. Ryan, you and Kinsella, please do something. Rushkers, PS, Jers as in Rangers. Oh, like up the Jers, Rangers. Gotcha. Rob Reed, loads of players in the one cap club. Yeah, we should have done that, Rob. We said that as well. It might be saying give it a month or so. We might come back and look at one cap wonders, the likes of Michael Ricketts who are in this game, for example. Thank you, Billy. If I've already read it, I won't read out the ones giving me the trumpet up your bum because it just sounds ridiculous. But I appreciate the sentiments to the guys saying that. And so Malone not taking part in the Champman FPL, still find this entertaining. That's good, and you can sign up. And so still, if you want to have a go and view the Fantasy Champman Twitter account. You can still sign up if you're quick enough, mate, and you'll be ready to go for game week 4. Adam Baines, will next season be sponsored by Brewdog? I made me bigger than Brewdog, mate. I mean, yeah, sponsorship, Patreon, it's all coming, kids. Exclusive. You can take that, keep it, record it. Jeff Holt, you deserve at least an OBE. And the only OBE I get is for being over bloody eager, Jeff. That's my OBE, over bloody eager. Jack Tasker, still time if you want to join. He's saying to Anto Malone. Thanks again, Billy. Clean sheet wipeouts is going to listen to the quiz tomorrow. Brad Learns is in the chat. It says 33 days without beer. That first half has made me want to relapse. I feel bad drinking if you're generally doing it to try and quit or something, Brad. But yeah, you know, man's got to do what he's got to do, isn't it? Alex, I was gutted the non-European 11 didn't make the cut for Tuesday's People's Poll. So was Sid. You couldn't believe it. We even told people last week to vote for it, which we never do. We never try and influence the vote. He didn't even come second. I don't know what happened. FPL Irons, I was wondering how many of the 11 would actually make a top 4 team, let alone make the top 4 as a team. This is referring to uncapped England players. There aren't many. Not at all, mate. Not at all. A few of them at their peaks. Possibly some of the older ones like Howard Kendall and that. Perhaps Ron Harris, Steve Bruce maybe. But yeah, not many, man. FPL Woody back. I'm starting with 4. Only messages I post second half will go down in number with every clean sheet gone. Ready, steady, go. Andrew Martin, did Jimmy Bullard get his cap? No, he didn't, Andrew. And he didn't make our team. Just didn't think it's good enough, mate. Personally. He wasn't better choices than the 2 players that we picked, in my opinion. Spoiler. FPL Irons, he didn't only made the squad once, yeah. He was I'm sure he was unused substitute when England won in Berlin. In a friendly. About 5 years ago or so. Not the more recent one when Eric Dyer got the winner. A few years before that. That Bonderhall was playing for England. Hip Hop 07 Legendary. I will sign up on Patreon. You guys pump out content all year round. If we do it, I'm gonna need some people to, aren't I? Brian Newell, where is the sheet? Did we find the team standing, goal scorers, etc.? Don't look at the sheet now, mate. It's in play. Look at it tomorrow. But you need the sheet. It's in your emails. If you haven't signed up, you won't have the sheet. Jeff Holt saying overtly bloody minded and enthusiastic. That's my OBE. Okay. Alex, listen, what you pay for Patreon, I don't think other people would pay that, mate. But if you're happy to pay more, like, crack on, mate. Rory's saying similar. Mark Dorney, Steve Perryman must have won England caps, mate. He must have. I'm sure he did. Please tell me if he didn't, because I'll be regretting not having him in my team otherwise. Yeah, that's right, Alex. Yeah, I think 20 quid for Patreon might be a bit much, mate. You're quite right. But you never know what sort of perks it's going to come with. We might do like super Patreon where, you know, for 20 quid a month, I'll come and knock on your door at your house once a year or something. FPL Irons, I met Chopper Harris once. He told me to put bleach on my studs to really hurt the opponents, the mad bastard. Everyone, Chopper Harris was a character for sure. Oh, the account's still alive. We have some changes at Sunderland. 2 early changes to report here. Kevin Davis is replaced by James Beattie on 49 minutes before Paul Mayo comes on for his debut, replacing popular Argentine pick Julio Arca on 51. So a 1 pointer there for Julio Arca of Sunderland, who a few will have. Manchester Reds on Ask James Friday. Get in the chat and talk to me about Ndombele and Mourinho. Then we'll talk about it. Stupid fuckers, honestly. Your son says he gets Jeff Sterling for £20 a month. What kind of Sky subscription have you got, boy? Cheers, Alex. H. Erm's got an idea. Yeah, we've kind of done similar stuff and put it out to votes before, and it's not really won, I don't think, H. Perryman had 1 cap. Yeah, there's no way he wouldn't have been in that team if he'd been uncapped, mate. I'd have known about it as Spurs record appearance holder. But yeah, 1 cap, shocking. He'd be one for that 1 cap team for sure. FPL Sargent backing out as well, making a solitary appearance for him, appearing as a 70th minute substitute against Iceland on the 2nd of June, 1982. Alex, I was joking about the knocking on door bit, mate. FPL tractor rents for £20 for Patreon. He'd expect a few household guests like Carl Walker. Listen, I ain't got those kind of contacts. Carl Norbury, Chris Kirkland's a 1 cap one. There's loads of 1 cap England wonders, 1 cap England wonders, mate. You should become a chat on Patreon, guys. But we can talk about that on Friday if you want to a bit more when we do that stream. Shamil, man, you much better than that shit, I'm telling you. You've met me. This is wrong. A few times. Bradland and Premier League players have all just released a statement about giving money to the NHS. Great news. I would like to look at that statement, if that's okay, and take a minute and see what I can find. If an alert goes off, we will get straight on to Champman FPL. If I find it. We'll talk about that Friday then. Can't find it. Dan McCarthy, didn't Jay Boothroyd get a cap when he was at Cardiff yet? FPL Sergeant, now TV, Sky Sports Pass, 1999. Watch on PS4. Cancelled it this morning, though. Nice, pal. Mark Dorney, criminal mate, Perryman, yeah, 1 cap. Shocking. There's loads of stories like that. I was talking on that pod yesterday about Hoddle. 53 caps or something. If your man had played for Brazil, he'd have had 153. FPL Woody back. Just realised I'm already on 3. Newcastle conceded and didn't see it. Too many Jamesons. Good man, Slancher. Brian, have you ever considered seeing about getting some legends on Tottenham? Why would legends come on Tottenham? Why? Oh, I've got to pay for these bastards. These geezers don't do shit for free, mate. Maybe we can look at real guess. I think you lot just prefer me and Suj anyway. Big chance at Stamford Bridge. Slower start to the second half everywhere. At the bridge, Mario Stanic is getting chances. He sees his header saved by Given before the ball is stolen from his feet, before he can get a second shot away. Stanic very involved, playing in the 10 position for Chelsea against Newcastle. Mick Wright has triple Blackburn defence. You got some cojones there, mate, but I fancy your chances of that holding, actually. Paul Coleman. None CMFBL, but for cricket fans, can I give a shout out to teams streaming the Headingley testing fall? Thanks, Tailenders Stokes. Boom ting, Paul. FBL Cats on players together. I will have a look at it later. I'll tell you what, we'll cover it on Friday. But it sounds like that statement from the players is good news stuff anyway. FPL Bricky were nice. One cap wonder there. Brian Steen at Luton, yeah. Matt Jarvis had 1 England cap as well. Gary Shepherd's correct, yeah. Clean sheet wipeout. Gary Cahill just tweeted that statement. The leader of the Premier League now, is he? Thanks for those guys telling us where to start. Yeah, Stephen Corker, 1 cap, 1 goal. Same for Francis Jeffers, actually, who's in this game. Francis Jeffers and Stephen Corker have a unique record in that they're the only players to play 1 game for England, score, and be on the losing side. There's one to test your mates. Francis Jeffers against Australia in 2003. Australia beat England at Upton Park, and Stephen Corker was in the game in Sweden when Ibrahimovic scored a hat-trick, including that scandalous overhead kick from about 40 yards. Yeah, Bricky, Jeff, you're both Luton fans. Talk to each other. Your own time. David Nugent, best 1 cap wonder. Jermaine Defoe still hates him for stealing that goal against Andorra. So true, yeah. Seth Johnson, I think, was a 1 cap wonder. Yeah, a lot of people around this time, actually. Billy Hadaway saying David Nugent as well. Lewis Dunk, 1 England cap. I like Lewis Dunk. It's a good footballer. Brad, you know my thoughts on Lewis Dunk. It's a good player. Cole Norby, Ryan Shawcross. So unfortunate to be up against Latan on his England debut. Is that so? Shawcross played with Corker together. Fuck me. No wonder we lost. FBL Bricky's telling Jeff that Luton Town are everywhere. I can assure you, Bricky, you ain't, mate. FBL Cobbler, Danny Ings is still a 1 cap wonder as things stand. With a goal at Stamford Bridge, and the goal scorer is Ida Good Johnson. Assist for Emmanuel Petit. Ida Good Johnson has put Chelsea 2-1 up against Newcastle. Come from behind to take the lead there. Assist for Petit. I guess importantly, it might mean that Hasselbank is possibly not introduced. There's 58 minutes gone there at Stamford Bridge. Unless I'm mistaken, that's the first goal of the second half. We've been rabbling on about 0 and 1 cap wonders here, haven't we? Oh, Joe's Watford. It's all going to kick off now. Tribalism between Watford and Luton. Bloody hell, state of it. Gary Shepherd was asking if I turned the notifications off. Nah, I'm here, pal. 2-1 Chelsea. I'm here. Alex saying hashtag players together is amazing. So thankful. If I don't talk about it in detail Friday, we'll put it in the people's poll or something. Oh my God, we have huge news from Highbury. Thierry Henry has been replaced after 59 minutes. The account says Henry owners look away now. Henry is one of 2 players to be removed for Arsenal, with the Frenchman replaced by Francis Jeffers. Martin Keown is also off, with Matt Upson on in his place. Cadamartri is on for more for Everton. That is astonishing news for Thierry Henry, captainers. My God. And that's, I'll be honest, I feel you, because that so very easily could have been me if I'd not decided that ownership of Van Nistelrooy had been such a, and I mean, what's that going to do to that? Even if Van Nistelrooy blanks here, which at the moment he's due to. Yeah, that's big news. It probably, you can turn off now. It won't get any bigger than that, probably. We have a fourth goal for Middlesbrough. Alan Johnson, the goal scorer. Wait till you hear the assister. It's Dean Gordon again. Middlesbrough lead 4-1 at West Ham. Johnson, the goal scorer, has been popular. Dean Gordon with the assist again. Middlesbrough lead West Ham by 4-1. That Henry news is staggering, isn't it? FPL Cobbler sums it up there, I think. Va-va-voom. Is this the bit where I should say I was only joking? I made it up. No, it's true. It's true. Sorry, guys. I know that's bad news, but yeah, bad news is happening. Clean sheet Wipeout. His stock is going to be on minus figures soon. I think I should be happy that I've got 2 West Ham players, mate, and one of them's returned. News from Sunderland. Sneaking just past the 60-minute mark. Both sides make interesting changes. Bernd Haas has just made it to a 2-pointer. He's replaced, it says, who has played poorly, Bernd Haas. Was replaced by Darren Williams, who played right midfield in the game before. Watch out for Haas's rating in the game afterwards. And Southampton, welcome back. Anders Svensson back after injury. He replaces Matt Oakley. I suggest he is an interesting one to keep an eye on, Anders Svensson. I was staggered by that Henry news. I can't believe that. I think it just shows how brutal this could end up being. Brutal. Yeah, so we had nothing for ages, and then some real news. Also, a substitution at Ewood Park. Change here for Blackburn as David Dunn comes on for Alan Mahon. Blackburn still fairly in control. They lead Bolton by 2-0. 62 minutes gone there. So David Dunn is on for Blackburn. There's a few who will own. I know someone was asking in the chat earlier about trying to get Duff to block people off. Paul Tinkler, I think, yeah, Chris Sutton. I think 1 appearance for England, maybe. Barry Thomas triggers 3 Villa defenders and Henry captain. Yeah, those on the Schmeichel Hislop rotation. Who are you picking next week? Just be Schmeichel, wouldn't it? Probably. Well, mind you, are they both at home in game week 4? West Ham and Newcastle at home, aren't they? I forget who Villa have got, to be honest. Blackburn clean sheet gone. Goal for Bolton is scored by Bo Hanson a minute after they've made that change there. Bolton have scored at Blackburn. 2-1 to Blackburn. Bo Hanson, the scorer. 63 minutes gone. There is no assist. Clean sheet Wipeout saying Henry news just shows how mad CM0102 is. I wonder if the boys who do the game were in the chat knowing that was going to come. Just waiting for the shock. Wow. Alex, maybe this is one of those sims that Henry doesn't bang. Well, I mean, Van Nistelrooy owners can't go back to him now at the moment until you can trust it again. It's too much money. You've got 13 million to have your guy replaced after 59 minutes. Too much money. FPL Woody back looking for Svensson to do some business for him. He did say 30 minutes sub and 2 goals. Arsenal have the lead against Everton. Goal scorer is Tony Adams. My friend FPL Chancellor can stop gritting his teeth with his 2 Everton defenders on the bench because Everton's clean sheet is gone. Tony Adams, the goal scorer. Again, there is no assister. Excuse me, no assister. Oh, Andy Martin saying he's in the chat. Big time. We love the Henri 59th sub. Carnage. I bet even it's their game. I bet even they couldn't believe it when they looked through the report and went, nah, we can't post that. They won't believe it. Shamil, Dean Ashton, Joey Barton. Dean Ashton would have been a great forward, Sham. Great forward. He was such a good player. Killed by injuries. He would have been, I'm not saying as good as Harry Kane, but there were comparisons between those two players, genuinely. Some information on that. Adams' goal. Arsenal win a corner after Jeffers sees his shot excellently tipped wide by Gerrard. Pires swings it in and it's half cleared, but the ball only drops as far as Adams, who thumps home. Interesting. Ryan, 20 goals, no returns whatsoever. Happens to most of us most weeks, isn't it? Scala, did Gordon to Keown after early team news? Ooh. He went off Keown, didn't he? Yeah, 59 minutes. 59 minutes with a clean sheet as well. Andre, wow. Bloody hell. Billy Haddiway, Ryan Mason. Yeah, I remember he played for England in Turin against Italy. It was a brilliant photo. All the stuff. I think Townsend equalised. It was all the Spurs boys together at the time. Mason, Townsend, Kane. I'm pretty sure Eric Dyer as well. It was a really good photo from that night. Andy G, the Golf Pro, says he could have done with that Pires assist. What do we need, guys? 25 minutes to go. What do we need here? I guess the feeling looking around is that scoring is going to be, in spite of the goals, is going to be quite low. That's how it feels at the moment. FPL Chancellor, Tom, Nick and Stag need to do a who didn't get the assist pod on this game. Danny saying, loved Ashton's goal in that Delia's Let's Be Having You game. Class. I think everybody remembers the overhead kick he scored for West Ham at Old Trafford as well. Even the Stretford end were clapping it. Class. Mark Dorney, top of leaderboard, going to get shook up tonight. Jack Tasker needs a Van Nistelrooy goal. Rory just needs anything. Anything. Rob Chetty's needs Rude. It's not the Rude I'm bothered about. Like, so many people be captaining them. Less bothered. I'd rather see like a Jason Newell goal or something personally. Alex 23 banger for Gordon. Wow. Water Recluse. Need of Rude Van Nistelrooy return. Matthew Milton. Rude Van Nistelrooy goal and a Robert goal. Andy Kens. Reset the assist machine. It's broke. Feels like it. Game week 1, it was like assist for everything. Andy G, the Golf Pro. Rude boy. He needs something there. Ryan just wants someone he owns to score. Ian Parrin needs an Arsenal clean sheet. Sam Thomas is starting to lose patience with Veron. Third time I've captained him tonight. He will begin to feel that way. There is a clean sheet bust for Southampton. Equaliser for Sunderland. Landis is the goal scorer. Michael Gray puts in a cross for Kevin Phillips. He may only be small, but he leaps above Tahar and directs his header goalwards. His header is parried by Jones, but Landis is on hand to apply the finish. Yep, assists are broken. Officially. There's a third goal for Chelsea. I've not yet had the notification yet, but I've seen it. And it's Gudjonsson again. Assist for Jesper Gronkier. Chelsea picked Newcastle off on the counter. Melshot's low cross is picked up by Gronkier on the opposite byline. He cuts inside before crossing for Gudjonsson, who grabs his second of the night. Ryan, don't be that guy. Clean sheet wipeout. There you go. Aha, little delay, but obviously didn't want to say. Substitutions at Leicester. Changes for both sides. Leicester, Scowcroft and Gunlaugson have been replaced by Benjamin and Akinbaye. Pre 60 minutes, Amir Karic was replaced by Jamie Clapham for Ipswich. Gary Shepherd was open for a Phillips assist there. Alan says strikers would get massive hauls in this game if I had fantasy assist. Ian McAllister, better than Soccer Saturday, yes. Brap. Well, thing is, I probably talk a little bit more sense than most of them plonkers that are on there, let's be honest. Some of the people Sky get on, not so much the guys on the Saturdays, to be fair. Some of the guys that get on, fucking hell, they're so bad, mate. How did you play football? Did you not learn anything playing the game for 20 years? Matthew Milton, weren't Newcastle good on this game? The answer to that is yes, but they obviously had a lot of injuries for game week 1 when they lost to Everton. Another big substitution, it's at Derby. Van Nistelrooy is off, so it's a blank for Van Nistelrooy. Replaced by Andy Cole in 68 minutes. Rigger has shackled him well. Meanwhile, it's clean sheet locked in for Mikel Silvestre, who was replaced by Dennis Irwin just before 63. Substitutions at Upton Park to tell you about. Changes for both sides. Schemmel fails to make 60 minutes for the second game in a row and is replaced by Rigobert Song. Jonathan Greening also bows out on 59. I know a few were looking at him. He's replaced by Dean Windass. Finally, Christian Daly replaced by Soma on 64. So, as it stands now, Veron captain is winning, right? All those who've gone for Duke a little bit of revenge. There's not going to be many captain hits, is there? FPL graphics, it looked mad. It's 2-guy assist. Could be a real winner, couldn't it? If he hits into sort of bonus points as well. So, Henri, a confirmed 1-pointer. Ruud van Nistelrooy, a confirmed 2-pointer. Rory saying Dean Gordon's outscored his entire team. I think you're probably not alone there, mate. Oh, dear. Substitutions at Charlton. Villa have been the better side second half, but that first half has cost them. Changes now for both sides. Angel off on 58. Staunton off on 66. Delaney off on 72. Dublin, Wright and Hadji were the replacements. And John Robinson went off after 72. Graham Stewart, his replacement. For some reason, I seem to not be getting noise alerts at this moment. I don't really know why, but I will try and fix it. Have we had fun tonight, guys, other than the fact no one's got any fucking points? Can everybody read Matthew Milton's comment in the chat? Cheers. Jack Tasker saying not many bookings tonight. Are they usually announced like goals? No, Jack. So what they'll do is when they've got a very highly owned player, so probably sort of top 20%, like with Dabizas, they'll announce it like they did earlier. I will go through all the bookings at the end once we've got the screenshots of the team rating, so I'll confirm for you. But it's just too much for them to be, if they've got a guy who's got 0.3% ownership, bashing out a tweet to go, yeah, Tim Sherwood's got a yellow card. Like, shh. Alerts back on. We've got another substitution at Highbury. Nicholas Alexanderson is replaced by Steve Watson. Arsenal in total control. Bergkamp has just hit the bar. They're pressing for more. Andy G, the golf pro. Staunton clean banked. How'd you work that out, pal? You mean he stopped from going for 4-0 so he'll get a 1-pointer rather than a 0? I'm not into blocking people, guys. Just try and get the message out, like Andy said. You know, if you're watching this, we're trying to be first for getting in the chat with like the comments on that. What's the point? You might as well just look at the chat or look at the tweet threads. There's no point even watching this. It's up to you guys, but yeah, I'm not going to go blocking anyone or anything like that. You've all got a right to be here. Let's just. It's obviously it doesn't really bother me because I'm looking at my phone, so I'm not. I haven't seen anything in the chat before I've seen it here, so it's not bothering me. But it obviously is bothering some other people, so try not to, guys. Yeah. Nick Wright's having good fun. He's on 7% IPA. Thank you, Gary. Thank you to guys above who've said stuff as well. Thank you very much. Coach, that's what I did, but good shout. Thanks, mate. Clean sheet wipeouts managed to drink 6 bottles of Bud whilst watching this. Mate, you could have just had a fucking litre and a half of water. Andy Ken says hashtag Flawed Staunton. Steve Stauntoff says C Hayes _ FPL. Let's have some predictions, guys. Not what you want. What's going to happen these last few minutes? I think another goal for Leeds, definitely. And I think it might be another one for Chelsea as well. We are about 14 minutes to go. I make it. So we are, 3-1 Chelsea, 1-0 Arsenal, 2-1 Blackburn, 3-0 Charlton, 1-0 Man United, 1-0 Leeds, 2-0 Ipswich, Sunderland, Southampton 1-1, Middlesbrough 4-1 at West Ham. Alex wants a Viduka goal, or predicts a Viduka goal. Rory's down, man. 0 goals and 0 assists for himself. He's predicting. Adam Baines is predicting a late Di Canio hat-trick. That is bold, mate. Get down the bookies with that one. Rodri's predicting a Super Kev winner. John saying an Ian Hart goal. There's a big save at Stamford Bridge. Lampard sets up Good Johnson, who's on his hat-trick now. His shot is decent, but you'd expect Given to save it. Chelsea well on top. That third goal was killed Newcastle. Lee and Amiobi on for Acuna and Bellamy. 13 minutes to go. FPL coach says he fancies an Everton equaliser. Andrew Whitefield, Sir Les, 90th minute equaliser at Ellen Road. Was he on the bench, Andrew? I don't think he was even a sub, was he? FPL Sergeant, I think he wants a Shearer goal. FPL Cobblers predicting a Phil Neville second goal. Woolly back. I don't want to hear Rory's team, mate. He's feeling bad enough. Don't make it public. Cole Norbury senses a Bowyer goal incoming. Andrew Martin says still drama to come, I reckon. You're a knobhead, Andrew. We love you, mate. But you don't be putting that if there's going to be like 14 minutes of shit to come, mate. You've got to know. I know you know. Mark Dorney, Bowyer and Beckham goal, he's saying. Andy G's looking for a Harry Kewell goal or Perez. Alan says always late goals in champ, man. Scarlights, Carnu captains, brace still to come, he's saying. Gary Shepherd's been a Lauren Robert goal. Chancellor, Hislop own goal, the waste man. Yeah, Irons is picking up on Andy's comment. Bastard. Clean sheet wipeout. A sly hint. Andrew Martin, maybe. Yeah. Angus McFell, a Veron goal coming just to make everyone feel more conflicted. Andy Kens, Cashley Cole or assist, please. More chance of him crashing his car, I'd suggest, mate. Matthew Milton, Andy. Samuel says Ian Hart own goal in extra time just to spice things up. We've all got him, Sam. Doesn't matter, mate. Coach is saying Andy's a tease. Rob Chetty, James, drink your beer. Shit's about to go off. All right, mate. Andy says he'll shut up till full time. He's had 3 beers. It's really quiet, isn't it, compared to the first half? Sikri, sorry if I pronounced that wrong, mate. Ipswich clean sheet wipeout incoming, he thinks. Sam Thomas is predicting that my wife will come in and shout at him again. Shall I get her to do it? Ryan just wants to see Veron on the commentary and laughing my ass off. It's not Veron, but there is a second goal for Manchester United. The goal scorer is Andy Cole, and there is an assist for David Beckham to add to his earlier goal. Goal and assist for Beckham. And now, Veron owners, what do we do with Beckham at 2 million cheaper? That's conflicting now, isn't it? Tough game against Leeds away next. James Street nails it for all non-owners by saying, fuck off, Becks. Clean sheet wipeout. Bloody Beckham. Cobbler. Yes, Becks. Coach, Becks is the boy. Irons. Beckham. Wow. I'm buzzing. James Conroy. Becks baby. Rob Chetty. Goal king goal. James Street for Ron out. Need a hashtag there, James. Darren Addy. Thank God for Becks. Steve Perry getting Becks. Manchester Reds getting Beckham. There's a lot of Becks owners in this chat now. It's like when Zola scored on the weekend. Alan, not a single player in the game won't get Becks now. Well, I'm not convinced that I will, actually. Mark Dorney, Becks. Alex, fuck off for on. Ian McAllister, yes. Andy Cole, Beckham double. Nick Griffith, Bosch, Cole. Manchester Reds, Giggs a shout soon, you think, James? No, I would prefer to go down to Beckham rather than Giggs. Darren Addy, I was so close to captaining today over Henry. Gutted. Hindsight, what a bitch. Billy Hadaway, as soon as we swap them out, Veron will bang them in. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking as well. Sell. Ian McAllister, I hate United, but come on. I don't know why you'd even type that, mate. Innsbrecken, hashtag Vagon. FBL Badger, could Cole get a start over Ruud van Nistelrooy game week 4? Well, one thing you can expect between now and game week 4, I can tell you with a certainty, is some injuries. Certainty with all these internationals. James Street says he's coming in next week. Mend it like Beckham. FPL Tracker says George Burley is a football genius. Speedy Reedy TV. Hashtag Veroff. Oh. Most of you seem pleased with that Andy Cole goal. And here's some news on it. United have swamped Derby all game and they finally have the cushion they were seeking. Irwin switches the play to Beckham, who plays a first-time ball to Andy Cole. He takes a touch to bring the ball down and then rifles home. Tell you what is important here is if they don't concede, it's 3 clean sheets in a row for Manchester United. You can say Leicester, Blackburn, Derby, not the toughest fixtures, but 2 of them away. 3 clean sheets. Yeah, it might not be Veron to Beckham. It might be moving that money to a second United defender, I think. And then using that money elsewhere, possibly. An update from Upton Park. Not the Riverside, motherfuckers. This game is over. Borough have been a bit better, but a lot more clinical. Poor performance by Hislop has not helped the Hammers. Fester and Southgate are replaced by Ocon and Cooper for the closing stages. If for some reason you have Shaka Hislop and a 4 million keeper that's not called Stephen Bywater, I'd be pretty concerned, actually. I've got Keller, so if I end up with Keller in the Spurs game next, I'm not bothered. Not bothered. James Conroy, has anyone seen Dwight York? Nick Wright waiting for the game. He gets 4 attacking returns, so I can write Bex Via. Nice. FPL Sergeant, scenes at Old Trafford as fans scream fuck off Veron as Beckham and the team celebrate goal. Billy Hadaway, David James coming straight back in. But yeah, but that's not till November, mate. Alex says Veron out. Billy Hadaway adds when fit. I got it, mate. Mark Dorney, Luke says Hislop gets dropped most sims. If Luke says it, I'd take notice of that. And it could be even that I'd look as actually going Hislop Kylie, possibly even as maybe a game week 4 move for me if he's going to become a concern, and then just take the double and then go Casey Keller on the other side. Could be the way I go. It's interesting that Spurs have only conceded the 1 at Derby. Excuse me, despite having Gus Poyet sent off very early. And so far, only the 1 at Leeds as well. And don't forget, that's still only 2 games. So that's not too bad. So maybe one that will be very under the radar to maybe keep an eye on. Brian Newell has Seaman and Hislop with Wright fit again. Don't know where this leaves me. Yeah, Richard Wright could well be fit for game week 4. There'll be a lot of moves for Kylie, I think. A lot. Rob Chetty believes he's with his wife. Let's say that. He's with his wife. Rory says 70 plus sims and Veron never blanked the first 3. Steve Parry, I've got Hislop and Kylie. I'm going to burn Hislop's gloves after today's game. You were always going to play Kylie in game week 4 anyway, mate. Mark Dorney likes the Kylie shout. It'll be obvious one, won't it? If people have got a goalkeeper problem, that's where everyone's going to go. And then worry about it on the other side. But they got a tricky run going afterwards, Charlton, so I'd just be a bit wary of that. David Beckham has scored again for Manchester United. 4 minutes to go at Pride Park. And there is an assist for Juan Sebastian Veron. Probably doesn't help Veron owners because a lot of the competitors will have Beckham. But goal for Beckham. That will certainly wrap him up a man a match this time. And an assist, finally, an attacking return from Juan Sebastian Veron. 4 minutes to go at Pride Park. 3-0 Manchester United. Block FPL is Beckham and Wilcox. FPL Cobbler, Veron and Bex. Such might have Bex, you know. I'm going to find his team. Hold on. He sent me a screen grab earlier. It's grass to fuck her up. Nah, he's got Veron. He's got Canute, Hasselbank captain, Henry. His vice captain was Veron. He's got Lampard, Nolan, Wilcox. He's got a back 3 of Hart, Melberg, Gallus. He's got Hislop in goal, a dozy fucker. He even supports them. He don't realise how shit they are. Clean sheet wipeout. Beckham flying this weekend. Rory's got a return. Woo! Go Rory. Brian, wow, an actual return. Brad, fuck off, Bex. Adam Baines, Veron our way. Andy G, the golf pro. Had Kylie from the start. Inspiration for my team name. Kylie Minogue FC. It's got to be something to do better there with Kylie. Like, how about Kylie and Jason, especially for you? I did see that somewhere else, to be fair. That was a good team name I saw. Kylie and Jason, especially for you. Ian McAllister, bet goal. Kingsbury, even when Veron assists, it's to Beckham, for fuck's sake. FPL Willie back. Yes, Rory. Can we all just have a moment for Rory? Because Rory's got a return. And I feel like I was a bit worried about Rory and his stay. So, Rory, I'm happy for you, mate. You got a return. Hassan Kala, Veron described as sensational in the goal description. Sounds like he's on for bonus. He could be. He could be. He could be. I will clarify the words used by the official account. We've only got about 2 minutes to go, by the way. Beckham dispossesses power before exchanging passes with the sensational Veron. Yes, I kind of went over my head, actually. So, yeah, Veron could be on for a bonus here as well. Oh, what does it mean? It's nothing. Derby respond by bringing on Brian O'Neill. It won't be enough. You don't fucking say, Sherlock. It's fairly obvious, isn't it? Yeah, we are a minute to go. So this is it. So clean sheets on for quite a few, isn't there? Arsenal, Leeds, Manchester United, obviously, Ipswich, Charlton. Richard Rufus is going to get me a clean sheet over Gallus. That's almost looking inspired now, James. Almost looking inspired. Manchester Reds, Duff still on the bench. I don't know. I would have thought, Manchester Reds, that if he'd come on, they would have tweeted it. I would have thought. Good, Rory. Good man. What you said at the bottom, though, you definitely wouldn't have preferred. Jokes aside, I can tell you wouldn't have preferred to catch that. Alex, Beck's purple patches now predict the future. Rob Chetty, I played a few sims where Beck's moves to Spain. Joe Mitchell, time for two guy to sneak a goal. Ryan, this is also my first returns as well. So cheers, Rory. Well done, Ryan. Ian McAllister, well played, Rory, lad. Brian O'Neill comes on for a point, and I'm far more excited than I should be. Joe Finley better. Tarico off my bench for Duff, hopefully. I'd be very surprised if Duff came on. I think it's one they would have tweeted. His ownerships are enough. Not mean to put you under pressure there, Andy, and the boys and that, but I think they would have tweeted it. It's been a really quiet second half, really, isn't it? S. Howie, maybe that's Steve Howie, formerly of One Cap England Wonder. I think he got a couple more, actually. No, he was in the Euro 96 squad, which people forget. Had a mare with Charlton's Parker and Young on my bench. Oh, yeah, shit happens, isn't it? FBL Irons, they tweeted about Dunn, didn't they? Reckon Duff stayed on the bench. Yeah, I would be of that opinion as well there, mate. Oh, Duff is on. He's on now. He's just come on. I genuinely, I swear to you. Substitution at Blackburn. Oof. Auto sub blocker or welcome extra point. Lucas Neal has picked up an injury and soon as summons Damien Duff to come on for the last seconds. Minutes previously, Hignett replaced McAteer. Johnson replaces Warhurst for Bolton. So Duff is on. I swear I'm not lying. I swear I'm not lying. I swear I'm not lying. He's on, mate. This game is too funny, mate. It's too funny. Read what FBR Irons said at the bottom of the chat and pick on it. Literally talking about it. You couldn't make it up. That was blinding. Yeah, it's pretty horrible for Duff owners, but we've all been there, haven't we? Come on, we know how it feels. What wasn't us this week will be us next week or whatever. That's pretty mad. Yeah. Andy Martin, if you've been waiting for the moment that someone was going to ask, you're a cheeky bugger. Cole Norbury asked, who wrote this? Some of it you really couldn't make up, could you? FPL Chancellor Jason Wilcox, my first successful fantasy transfer since May 2019. So tonight has been. I'm really pleased. Rufus for Gallus, was brave, and 1.5 million to amend mistakes. Andrew's in the chat. He says, "Brilliant. That's so harsh. It's so funny." Manchester Reds trying to carry it on. Has Wilcox been sent off yet? Ha ha. Unfortunately, it just doesn't work that way. Joe's telling you to go away, Andrew. FBI has 66 points before bonus. Get the fuck in. That sounds like a very, very good score. I mean, until we see the bonus points. I mean, well, yeah, 66 before bonus is outstanding. You're going to be pushing sort of 80, 85, I would have thought there, mate. So really well done. I would have thought average will be a lot lower because the big hitters out there's not going to be too many people got a big captain return of day. That's one thing. There's a few blockers like Damien Duff and shit. Henry 1 pointers, Van Nistelrooy 2 pointers. There's going to be someone in the game, mate, who's got Henry, Van Nistelrooy, and Hasselbank. You can bet your life. That's a certainty. So It's 9:49. Full times are in. So to confirm, Arsenal 1, Everton 0. Sorry. And the classified results: Arsenal 1, Everton 0. Blackburn Rovers 2, Bolton Wanderers 1. Charlton Athletic 3, Aston Villa 0. You get the message. Chelsea 3, Newcastle 1, Man United 3-0 at Derby. Leeds beat Tottenham 1-0. 2-0, great win for Ipswich at Leicester. Sunderland Southampton 1-1. West Ham lost 4-1 at Hampton Middlesbrough. Liverpool down 0-0 draw with Bayern in Monaco. That game is now in extra time. We'll keep you informed to any goals. Don't hold your breath. Sounds like it's been shit, basically. I will hang around to give you the information that I can from the reports and bonus points. Thank you ever so much, everybody who's joined in tonight in advance. Really, really good fun. Whitebeard, cheers, James. Can we choose now who will get the same Duff treatment next game? We do that again for the next 35 game weeks and it won't happen, mate. But whether you've had good returns or bad returns, guys, remember this is game week 3 of 38. For those who have done well, very well done. For those who haven't, do not worry about it. It will get better, maybe. And if not, just ask Serge how many points he's got overall. James Street said Super Cup always goes to pens on the Sims, even when I manage Liverpool. I imagine you'll probably need to get the Twitter account for the updated player ratings from that game. Okay, bonus points in for the Arsenal game. Excuse me, Arsenal dominant, but squeak the result. Top bonus goes to Robert Pires with 3 points. There are also 2 bonus points for Ralph Lauren, Ashley Cole, and Paul Gerrard. There are an additional 3 save points for Everton's Paul Gerrard. There were no bookings in the game. Interestingly, the 4 players I mentioned all had ratings of 8. We obviously know Keown and Henry were both replaced after 59 minutes. Just a couple of interesting notes on the ratings. There are 3 Everton players who got 5 out of 10 ratings. They are David Unsworth and Mark Pembridge, who I know have had some interest, both of those. And Joe Maxmore, also a 5, who was replaced on 51 minutes by Daddy Kadamartri. There were no bookings in the game. There's nothing else to add on that Arsenal fixture. Okay, Blackburn 2, Bolton 1. Top bonus goes to Matt Jansen. There are 2 points for 4.0 Craig Short and Damien. No, I'm just joking. 1 point for Brad Friedel, Curtis, Henningberg, 2 guy, and Corrado Grabby. There's an additional save point for Brad Friedel, an additional 3 save points for Jussi Jaskalainen. Craig Short and Neil Madison were also booked in that game. All the substitutions were after 60 minutes, other than Ricketts went on 53 to be replaced by goal scorer Bo Hansen. Diawara came on for Southall after 59. And obviously to note there, Lucas Neal picked up an injury which led to that Damien Duff substitution. Rodney Wallace of Bolton with a 5 out of 10 rating. Information from Pride Park Derby. We seem to have skipped the C's. Top bonus for David Beckham as expected. There is 2 points for Juan Sebastian Veron and 1 point for Laurent Blanc. So quite clearly there was a 10 for Beckham. Veron also gets a 10 out of 10 rating. And there was a 9 for Laurent Blanc. There are some unluckies there, shall we say. Mark Poom with an 8. Phil Neville also with an 8. Dwight York and substitute Andy Cole also got 8s out of 10. So did Robbie Keane. So those guys are actually lucky not to get any bonus. There's an additional 4 save points for Poom as well. Unbelievably. So United have been very dominant here. Ryan Giggs was booked, which I guess is noteworthy. Adam Murray of Derby had a 5-pointer. So did Daryl Powell, also got a 5 out of 10 rating. Obviously, Ravanelli went off injured after 13 minutes to be replaced by Branko Strupar. The other substitutes, Irwin, Andy Cole, Brian O'Neill, all came on after 60-odd minutes. Obviously, Andy Cole came on and scored, which might be something interesting for obviously more than Van Nistelrooy, Dwight York owners. Be very cautious of that. But York's 8 out of 10 as well. So let's see where we sit once we get on the other side of the break. I've got Leicester and Ipswich news. Fairly even contest, but Ipswich's finishing was much better. Top bonus for Jermaine Wright, you would expect, scorer of both goals. And there are also 2 points bonuses for Delaney, Elliott, Sinclair, Izzet, all of Leicester, and Sereni, Tarico again, and Haridason of Ipswich. There's an additional save point for Tim Flowers. Jermaine Wright gets a 10 out of 10 rating. Arnegan Laugson with a 5 out of 10 is worth noting. There was no bookings in that particular contest. Sunderland won, Southampton won. Count says it was the right result. Sunderland are off the bottom. I think that'll be Newcastle bottom and Spurs 19th. Obviously, Spurs have a game in hand. Top bonus goes to Stanislav Varga. There are 2 points for Jody Craddock. There is also a bonus point for Thomas Sorensen, Kevin Phillips, Les Landers, and Paul Jones in goal. There's also a save point bonus for both keepers there, Sorensen and Jones. Bookings for Rory Delap and Klaus Lundekvam. Anders Svensson, as we know, returned on 61. Kevin Davis with a 1-point return, placed by Kevin Beattie. Julio Arca also with a 1-point return. As we mentioned, Bernd Haas taken off on 61, had a 5 out of 10 rating as well. We'll go to Upton Park, not the Riverside motherfuckers. 4-1 to Middlesbrough. Top bonus for Dean Gordon. There are 2 points each for Alan Johnson and Freddie Canute again with an 8-point return with just a goal. No save point bonus in that fixture. There was one booking. That was for Robbie Stockdale of Middlesbrough. Just worth noting from obviously a very good Middlesbrough performance that Stockdale, Fester and Southgate only picked up 6s defensively. And Hamilton Rickard only picked up a 6 up front out of 10. Canute got a 9 out of 10, which is interesting. Shaka Hislop is given a 4 out of 10. And Sebastian Shamrock right back, a 5 out of 10. Worth noting, as I said, Stockdale, the only booking. To the Valley, top bonus to Jason Wilcox. And there are 2 points for Dean Kiley, Luke Young, Chris Powell, Danny Shitu, Scott Parker, Sean Bartlett, and David Ginola of Aston Villa. 2 bonus points. No bookings in that fixture. If you've got Hislop and Schmeichel, shit yourself, because Schmeichel's got a 5 out of 10 rating here as well. The only Villa player to do so. Dion Dublin came off for Angel on 58 is the notable early change from that fixture. Interesting shite. What have we missed? I'm waiting on Chelsea, Newcastle, Leeds, Spurs. Those are the ones I'm waiting on. Chelsea, Newcastle, and Leeds, Spurs. Here we go. Here's the Leeds information. Top bonus for Harry Kewell. Tottenham played quite well, apparently, but Leeds deserved the win. Only the outstanding Casey Keller kept the score down. Casey Keller with 2 bonus return. I would suggest he's a lock now as Tottenham's #1 and should be of interest at 4.5 million genuinely. There is also 1 bonus point for Ian Hart, Mark Viduka, Chris Perry, Goran Benjevcevic, Simon Davis. 2 bonus point saves for Casey Keller, and there is a bonus 1 for Nigel Martin as well. 2 bookings in the game, 1 for each side. Gary Kelly of Leeds and Sergei Rebrov of Spurs who I note here, it also says injured 82 minutes, was replaced by Stefan Everson. Kjell given a 10 out of 10 rating, and so was Keller. Keller's got a 10 out of 10 rating here. A madness. Really interesting. That next highest for Leeds was Viduka on 8 and Ian Hart on 8. So Kjell's obviously had a worldie there. Keller's obviously performed well. Les Ferdinand, by the way, was amongst the Spurs substitutes. So was the great Ledley King. So we're just waiting on that main game, Chelsea-Newcastle. And yeah, good point. I just noticed it there from Brian Yule. Lee Bowyer also off injured on 62 minutes in that Leeds-Tottenham fixture and was replaced by Jonathan Woodgate. That could be good news for... state of me. That could be good news for McFowl owners. Rory, I own Bowyer. Of course you do, Rory. Of course you do. Do you not own Redruth as well? I'm just waiting on the Chelsea information, guys, and then we'll wrap this up. But thank you to everybody in advance. Okay, Chelsea information. At the end of an entertaining game week 3 here at the Bridge, a dominant Chelsea deserved their points. Shearer barely got a sniff of notice. Top bonus for Idager Johnson. There are 2 bonus points for Mario Melchiot and Emmanuel Petit. Sorry, I got to interrupt there. Andy G. No, I'm not worried about Spurs. We'll stay up. This is a shit version of Spurs, but we'll stay up. There is 3 bonus points for Shay Given, 1 for Carlo Cudicini, 1 booking in the game, the one we knew about from earlier in the night from Nikos Dabizas. Norberto Solano with a 9 is interesting. So Solano, there's got to be an error there. Solano will be in for a bonus. It's just something I just happened to spot. So I would say, although they haven't put it on their tweet, Norberto Solano is in for 2 bonus points as well from my maths. Yeah, so Melchiot, Petit and Solano all got 9s out of 10s. Johnson man of the match with a 9 out of 10. So although it's not on their tweet, you can expect a 2-point bonus for Norberto Solano. Weren't any early substitutions in that. And in fact, Chelsea, the Tinkerman, did not make a change at all during the game. So just to finish off, here's the Premier League table after 3 game weeks. United lead Chelsea and Arsenal with Spurs and Newcastle not off the mark yet. Next up is double game week 4 kicking off Saturday. Before then, we've got an international break, so keep your eyes on us for news. See you in game week 4. Ipswich Town are currently 4th. Okay, brilliant. They are human. It's just I'm lucky that I'd spotted that Solano mistake, and they will. There you go. Andrew's in the comments said Solano will get bonus. So they're human. There was something they missed off the tweet the other week. And the best thing to do is just go to them honestly and go, should there be? And the guys will correct it. You know they'll look after you. So remember, 3 lads done brilliant for us to get this game going. For everybody who's joined the chat tonight, thank you very much. In terms of Chatman FPL content, please feel free to join my Ask James stream on Friday. It will probably be lunchtime-ish, but I'll confirm in the morning what time it will be. Probably be 12, 1-ish. Jump in the chat. Literally, there's no script. You get in the chat and I talk about whatever you want. We'll probably talk about some of the, obviously, the statement from the Premier League players tonight as well. We'll certainly cover that off. And then all going well, touch wood, 2:30, 2:45 on Saturday. We'll do this again. I strongly advise don't get yourself into a mindset of I'm going to make this transfer, because in this little international break, there are going to be some injuries. There is going to be some information that we gather. So I reckon chill out, have a nice 24 hours without it, follow the account, and then we'll make moves Friday as and when ready. Other than that, guys, thank you very much for the last 2 hours and 26 minutes or so. You have been a pleasure. I hope your hours are green. And if they weren't, I hope they are next week. Thank you very much, guys. Ciao for now.